It is November 3rd, 2025, and we have reports of a mysterious crash at Area 51 with a possible cover-up at play. And the Albanian AI minister is pregnant. This is Inverted World Live. Hello, everybody. Welcome back. I hope you had a great weekend. This is Inverted World Live, and I am your host, Shane Cashman. We have a fun show ahead of us to start the week. Some good Area 51 news. We've had a lot of Area 51 stories this year. We'll get into those as we tee up this mysterious crash that happened back in September. And now there's new articles, new theories, possible cover-up. Who knows? We also have this very strange Albanian AI minister saying she's pregnant with, I think, like 80 assistants. We'll get into that later. But we are a call-in show. In about 30 or so minutes, we would love to hear from you. You can clink. That's my new favorite word. You can clink the link in the chat on Rumble and YouTube and give us a call. You can talk about UFOs. You can talk about alien abductions, cryptids, sleep paralysis, ghosts, Halloween. What did you do this Halloween? Did you get into any trouble? You can talk about something we've discussed in the beginning of the show. There is no theme. You can call and tell us anything strange, dark, questionable. You name it. We want to hear about it. And we're looking forward to hearing from you. We'll be here till midnight. And other than that, I am joined by Brandon. What's up, dude?
What's up, Shane? What's up, everybody? Welcome back for another week of madness and weirdness. We just want to give a shout out to everybody that hung out with us for our Halloween show last week. Thank you guys so much for making it our most viewed episode of all time. Massive audience for that one. So thanks so much. We are going to hopefully do it again next year, but we got a long time to go till that. So in the meantime, let's get weird. Shane-o.
Crazy. That was such a fun episode. Really grateful for everyone who joined us. Shout out to Sam and Drea for joining us. Sam Tripoli is on Kill Tony tonight. So it's one of my favorite shows to watch, and I'm always happy to see him on that show. So I'll be tuning into that after we wrap here, and I hope you guys do as well. Sam always crushes on Kill Tony. And of course, as I said last week, I will be opening for the great Sam Tripoli on New Year's Eve at the Dojo Comedy in Morris Plains, New Jersey. And I'm looking forward to that. That's going to be a lot of fun. Very honored to open for Sam. It'll be my first official time opening for him. The other time was at Bohemian Grove, hosted by the Nephilim Death Squad, when he basically threw me on stage and just had me read tweets, and that was a lot of fun. But yeah, New Year's Eve is going to be really sick with Sam. Looking forward to it. So, and we're also possibly going to be joined by Ian Crossland today. At some point, he's going to run through this door, possibly all the way through it, and sit over here, hopefully, or float through here. Who knows with Ian? But he'll be here, I'd imagine, around 11 or so. So if you want to call in and talk about graphene or the vibrations of the Earth, Ian will be here in about an hour.
Or if you've managed to completely just up and change the weather with a raise of your eyebrow, let us know. I'm sure he'll love to talk to you about that one.
Oh, that's so true. So true. He tells me he is manipulating the weather. Not like Cloudman. He's doing it like with his mind. So that's very exciting news.
And speaking of IRL, if you're just joining us from there over on YouTube, welcome. We are about to get into it. We got a lot of weird stuff going on tonight, and mainly AI and monkeys.
Yeah.
I don't know why that's becoming the theme recently, but we know why AI is. But the monkeys thing is just so irregular. But yeah, we got more of that coming at you.
And even AI monkeys. There's AI, there's monkeys, and AI monkeys in New Jersey. So welcome to the future.
What the hell is next?
You don't want to know, dude. It's going to get real crazy.
I do, but I don't.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's why we're here. We're going to track it all the weird stuff going on. I mean, we're almost at a year anniversary from the drone invasion. So I think they're going to top that with something crazy this year. I don't know what yet. Flying monkeys?
Well, we do know one thing. No matter what it is, it always has to be a step up from the last thing, right?
Exactly.
Got to keep that public eye.
Exactly. So you guys can throw it in the chat. What is next? What do you think is next? I don't know. But we do have all this Area 51 news. So for those who haven't heard the previous reports on this show about Area 51 in terms of this year alone, on July 4th, we had the official story of, they said a lightning bolt hit the desert and started, I think it was like 30,000 acres of fire. They called it the Gothic Fire. And that was, pretty crazy. They had to shut down a lot of stuff. They were fighting that fire. People were saying that's a cover up. They're burning stuff to get rid of stuff.
Well, yeah, I mean, 30,000 acres of
lot.
burning in the desert. I mean, what the hell was on fire? The sand?
Right. That's weird, right? What was burning?
I
There
mean,
were a few
you ever try to
trees.
light a cactus on fire? It's damn near impossible, let alone frustrating. I mean, they're filled with water.
Yeah, the fact that it's in the desert and it was burning definitely fueled the theories.
Now I could see like, dried up stagecoaches, shit like that.
That would be
dead,
cool.
Dead shrubbery. That
Yeah.
all could be
Yeah.
burning, but like to envision a 30,000 acre wildfire in the desert, it does not compute.
It's a lot of extraterrestrial corpses, perhaps. There were lots of theories, people saying it was a cover-up. Oh, it was just a normal fire. Just lightning happened on July 4th. But it was huge. And so that happened on the heels of this story that was also going on about former employees of Area 51 who are trying to get help. They worked on top secret projects out there. And they all realized many years later, they were all suffering from very similar forms of cancer. A lot of them shared these like grapefruit-sized tumors, and one of them actually said his DNA had been altered by the top secret project, and they were calling it the invisible enemy. And they have since then have some help in Congress trying to amplify their message, because the main problem is they can't get help from the VA because all of their work was data masked. So it was almost like they never worked there. They worked there on paper, but they didn't say what they did or why they were doing it and why they would be sick. So the VA won't help them, which is a huge problem for these people, even their children. The one guy said his kid was born with a brain tumor, and he's blaming it on whatever they were working on out there. So they only really talked about one stealth fighter that they were working on, but it sounds like there was a lot of them, and a lot of these people were hand-picked Air Force guys to work on these projects. And that also lined up with very much earlier reporting from the late 90s about burn pits in Area 51, probably burning a lot of skunk works, paints, chemicals that they were using to build certain things out there, and those guys were getting really sick. So we have all of that, plus everything else we know about Area 51. And here we are, September of last year, last month. See, I still don't know what day it is. Last month in September, it's November now, guys. I'm looking at the dates. It's November 3rd. So in September of 2025, we had this mysterious crash, and it was cleaned up in about 10 days. This big, what people are calling a cover-up, has gone down, and it's still people don't know what is happening. Locals have never seen something quite like this. They've seen other crashes, but they haven't seen a response like this to such a degree where if you go anywhere near it, there's like guys with guns now. The locals are saying that is rare. I imagine it's probably not so rare. We've had some people call in who've attempted to get to Area 51 to the gates, and they're always pushed back, and they're always met with like a lot of force. Not that they're attacked, but they're basically chased out. So let's get into this article we have here in the Independent from today, which is November 2025. I know that now. A mysterious object crashed outside of Area 51 weeks ago. Now people are claiming there's been a cover-up. And we were going to play this video, but this website just hates us, and
It sucks.
You're gonna have to bear with my voice instead. Sorry. So, a group of residents in Nevada claims they have been left in the dark after a mysterious object of unknown origin fell from the sky and crashed just outside the secretive Area 51 military base. Local investigative reporter George Knapp of Las Vegas, Station 8 News Now, reported on September 23rd that an object had crashed to Earth. The crash had been quickly covered up, he claims, as the military's official line that the crash was one of their own aircraft is demonstrably false. Now, real quick about George. He just testified before Congress at that big UAP hearing we talked about. That happened first or second week of September. And he claimed in that hearing that Lockheed Martin, remember that's Skunk Works is at Area 51, that's Lockheed Martin. He claimed that Lockheed Martin was in possession of some sort of extraterrestrial material. Now, he didn't really specify if that was like, what do they call it? Some kind of biology, or if it was technology. He just kept saying that they were in possession of something extraterrestrial. And that's a story that's been out there for quite some time. That was the first time I'd heard it laid out before Congress to that degree. So that's George Knapp. He's also with Coast to Coast, and he's done a lot of really good reporting on this story. And now we have founder of website Forum Dreamland Resort. This website hates me too. But so now we have founder of website from Dreamland Resort, a page where members of the public can comment on Area 51 and share theories. George Arnoux said when he was listening to radio communications, there was a sudden change in tone between military officials. Now, real quick, I'm just going to jump over to the Dreamland Resort website, dreamlandresort.com. These people are out there, and they are keeping a very close eye on Area 51. And there's even a Reddit page out there from 3 years ago that if you've watched any of the videos concerning this mysterious crash, references Arnoux and previous encounters with Area 51, because he had been raided by the feds for taking some video, and they took all his computers and stuff. You can look that up at is this the reason the Dreamland Resort webmaster got raided? They took all his stuff. No charges have been pressed, but they took everything of his. That was 3 years ago. Anyway, back to the story. Arnoux is now talking. I am listening to Area 51, and all of a sudden they got very serious and locked down the base, he told 8 News Now. Arnoux said he discovered the military had a significant and secret air operation in the middle of the night, but something had gone wrong. He said he heard repeated statements from military officials saying, "We just had an asset go down." Arnoux added that this message was not from Creech Air Force Base, which is a separate and nearby base to Area 51. Then the next thing you hear, UAV, unmanned aircraft with ordnance, he said. Arnoux said quickly that after those radio messages, it became clear that security measures were being implemented, which included locking down Area 51 and a large part of the Tikaboo Valley where the base is situated. The Dreamland founder concluded that an aircraft had fallen miles outside Area 51's boundaries on public land adjacent to Highway 375, which is colloquially, I can't speak.
Welcome back.
It's Monday, but it's every day for me. You know that. I can't talk. It's known as ET Highway. I love that. Arnoux, who had his home raided by federal agents in 2022, attempted to drive to the area but was stopped by an armed patrol. They had guns in front of them, not pointed at me, but very visibly in front of them, and it was clear they meant business. He then went south on the highway to Groom Lake Road, where the base's main entrance is, but sheriff's deputies and military security also blocked it. Arnoux said he saw a military helicopter with an attached basket, which he presumed was ready to assist in cleaning up the wreckage. There was also a pair of porta potties, which he concluded meant the team planned to be there for some time. After Arnoux shared details of the crash, people on the Dreamland Resort website discovered the Federal Aviation Administration had ordered the closure of airspace over a part of the valley. 4 days later, Arnoux returned to the site and stated on his website that the Air Force had used heavy equipment to plow a dirt road across a section of the desert. He also shared an image of what he thought was the crash site. Pretty brave of this guy to be just doxing Area 51 crash sites, but as we see, this was in public space. So they are democratizing this forced disclosure, whatever's going on with this so-called cover-up. Arnoux claims that after he posted the photo, a second wave of cleanup crews went back to the site and used graders to cover the entire area with a thick layer of dirt. Creech Air Force Base, which has fleets of Reaper drones and other UAVs, told 8 News Now that it was one of their aircraft. A spokesperson said no one was hurt and no property was damaged. The station said the statement also said someone had been tampering with the crash site, scattering pieces of another aircraft with an inert training bomb, which it was now investigating alongside the FBI. Do you hear that last part? That's a wild extra part of this story. So this is where the cover-ups come in.
This was the statement from the spokesperson. Is that what I'm getting from this?
Yes, from Creech Air Force Base.
Because it's the spokesperson.
Right. They're saying someone scattered pieces of another aircraft and an inert training bomb.
Now we know of spokesmen trying to get themselves out of a tight jam, when there's something going on involving the company that, is publicly damaging. But in this case, why would you want to spin something like that?
It's pretty interesting. This might remind people of Area 51, the initial, or it might remind people of the Roswell crash. That story kept changing every day after the initial crash.
And then Arnu's response is that's absolutely bogus. I think that it was designed to make people not go there, discourage people from going there. What the hell?
Yeah.
Did any of you get that sudden inclination to just not want to know more about that when you heard that that sentence get read off? If anything, I want to go there more and find out what the hell they're covering up.
Right. It also reminded me of people searching for the missing Malaysian flight. The one that went through a black hole, allegedly. I don't believe that part of the story. I don't really know what happened. But there were people finding wreckage from other planes. And there are other planes you could look up that were like twins of that initial plane. And so some theories back then when people were finding this wreckage was like this was planted, out there for people to find, to trick people. Anything's possible. But that statement is wild, especially with the inert training bomb. And now that they're investigating all that alongside the FBI. And the FBI, who planted the pipe bombs of January 6th? We don't even know that. It just seems like something that happens when you're trying to do cover-ups and you work for an alphabet agency. I think Arnu is probably right when he's saying this is absolutely bogus.
Well, Metalflix has a good point here. Who has random pieces of another aircraft to scatter?
Other than the government, right? Unless you're holding on to something.
Like, hey, we got a bunch of just, trash and debris laying around from previous cover-ups.
Right.
Let's keep this in the miscellaneous box and save it for a rainy day.
It doesn't make any sense at all to me, unless it's the government trying to cover something up. Also, the fact that they covered it with so much dirt. I don't know if it's in another part of this interview because I've seen a bunch with him today and yesterday. But he claims that dirt is clearly, in his opinion, they're covering up because he said in another interview that it's impossible to find every piece of wreckage, from something like this. So the easiest thing to do is just dump a lot of dirt on these wreckage sites. So Arnu then drove back and said he realized the site he had first filmed was a staging area, claiming it was not the crash site, and instead stated that he saw telltale burn marks on Joshua trees 200 miles away. That's a wild claim. He then said that he and an aerospace explorer found pieces of debris under the dirt that they believe were not from a drone. Arnu did not think the Air Force could have recovered the whole crash in that short of a time frame, so he accused them of adding dirt to create misdirection. If I was them, I would probably do just that, he said. The FBI investigation into the alleged tampering is ongoing. The Independent has contacted Creech Air Force Base for comment. Well, they got some comment up above from a spokesperson, but I guess we want more.
I was going to say, it looks like they didn't get back what they asked.
Yeah. So shout out to Dreamland Resort.com for doing their due diligence out there and keeping these guys on their toes. Fascinating that this guy's been raided by the feds already. But a lot of weird things happening in Area 51 this year. We have this, we have those fires, we have the invisible enemy. Is this leading up to something? We have the drone invasion of last year. We have all these mysterious drone stories this year. Drones shutting down military bases in Europe. We have Hegseth putting out his video a month ago about how we have to counter this drone incursion, this new threat. Anduril is on a PR tour, like the Cloud guy. He's having a much easier promotional run than Cloudman did, in my opinion. But you think about all these. If it's not going to be extraterrestrial or something, from not of this world, something extra dimensional. Think about all these new advancements that places like Anduril and Lockheed, Skunkworks, Raytheon, what they're working on, all the things that they've experimented with and designed and built during wars. We've had people obviously learning how to build new things in Ukraine, in Gaza. We've talked about lavender, something that the IDF is using out there in Gaza, which is like AI ran facial recognition drones in Ukraine. So clearly there's an uptick in this technology, and it could be something that we don't know about, something that they've built that, might appear to be extraterrestrial or not like a drone to someone like Arnu, so that no one would know about. And that's crashing while they're testing out all this new stuff, because all these war grounds are always test sites for new technology. Or it's something ridiculous that we don't know about. Thinking about what George Knapp has been saying to Congress about Lockheed Martin having in their possession some sort of alien technology or biologics, I think is the word they use. I don't know. What's your take on this? You think it's a cover-up of extraterrestrial proportions?
I don't know. With it being drones, I mean, here's the thing now is we gotta be ready for them to be also hiding technology that they're testing, right?
Yep.
So it doesn't necessarily flag aliens when we see something and know that it's Area 51 and something crashed. We can't just automatically assume aliens anymore. It used to be easy to do that, but in my opinion now it's like, what were you guys testing? That went horribly wrong and apparently isn't ready to be released. And why are you trying so hard to cover it up? Again, as usual, which is what they do. But,
Yeah.
I mean, hiding things from public eye also means, in some cases, hiding things from other countries. There's some
True.
technology that we don't want getting into their hands that we have developed that is out there.
Yep.
And I can understand that, but it just goes to show, like, hey, they're not just keeping us in the dark; they're keeping everybody in the dark. And if that's the case, what are you hiding?
Yeah, I'm with you on that. And a lot of these guys, these tech bros, whether it's Palantir, this is literally what Alex Karp from Palantir says. They consider themselves the Manhattan Project 2.0.
Yeah.
So what you're saying is like this technology they're building in secret over time, this new weapon. These guys see what they're doing as the same thing. Who knows what they're building now? I've seen videos online of new unmanned drones that do look like UFOs. They're crazy. They're just insane. So Alonzo Musk in the chat is saying maybe it's Katy Perry's spaceship. Could be. That's how her and her new boyfriend Trudeau. That's how they leave Earth. Finally.
Or at the very least, get back and forth to Canada.
Which is another dimension altogether. And I see Beyond Hell out there saying Dirt is Alice in Chains. Yeah, shout out to Alice in Chains. Great band. Maybe my favorite band from the 90s.
Elaine Staley, man, rip.
Man, seriously, one of the best. And Derek Dumas says, I bet it's a satellite weapon. I was also thinking, could be some sort of satellite that fell. Or satellite weapons also good. I mean, we were just talking about Jewish space lasers last week. We might finally have American space lasers. I think we already do. I think they've talked about, at least, they're not space lasers, but they're ground-to-sky lasers, like the ones in Ukraine that they were showing off, shooting down drones. China has boasted about having space lasers also. I think that's a very, very high probability. Realms Walker 85 saying testing nukes again. Well, we know that's happening. Maybe it hasn't started yet publicly, but Trump has called for it, and it's going to happen soon. And we also have news of Putin raising sunken nuclear submarines that had been slowly leaking. Now he's going to bring them up because they want to help prevent any more leaking, but they've been there for decades. And he's also unveiled a new nuclear submarine. So this talk, for the past few weeks, we've been talking about this nuclear thing. I wonder if that's a diversion. It's not going to be nuclear, that thing that ends up being the new next thing, and that we're just all thinking about the old weapons.
Well, it's interesting, too, because if you saw it, did you see the last Mission Impossible movie?
Not yet. I saw the first half.
So the base, without ruining in the movie for anybody who hasn't seen it, the base core AI that is threatening to destroy the entire planet
Right.
with its shit and basically take out all of humanity
Right.
is housed in a sunken submarine
Oh, nice.
that it sunk on purpose so that no one could get to it.
I remember that from the first installment of
Yeah.
the movie. Right. Okay.
So it's like
Predictive program.
little things like that. Hollywood is known to be putting out these prequels to real world disaster. We've seen it a bunch of times. The show Utopia, if you've ever seen that, was aired about a scientist creating several different pandemic viruses, them being released to the public, them having the vaccine and using the vaccine to sterilize people in mass. Several months later, the actual pandemic happened, and they had to start putting up a disclaimer at the beginning of the episode saying, this has nothing to do with the actual pandemic or anything like that.
Oh,
Don't
that's
take
funny.
any of this the wrong way. But they started airing this right before all of that happened.
That's funny.
And if you haven't seen it, the similarities to what actually happened with everything are extremely eerie. So just another example of, hey, who knows what's sunken on these submarines that they're trying to get back, and who knows what kind of bullshit excuse they're going to give us for why they're going down there to get them.
Yeah, I think they peppered future reality into entertainment to get our subconsciously prepare us for the future.
Amazon. I think it's Amazon for you guys
Interesting.
asking where that's at.
Okay. Utopia?
It is a crazy, crazy, crazy show.
Interesting.
Not for everybody. It's all based on a comic book that a guy wrote in an asylum, and the comic book depicts different viruses and diseases being put out there, in which case someone finds the comic, puts it up for sale, everybody loses their minds trying to get a hold of it, people start dying, and ultimately it turns out to basically unveil all of this stuff is actually happening. It's got John Cusack and a bunch of other people in it. It's pretty damn good. I watched it over the weekend, and I was blown away by the similarities to real life. So
Okay, I gotta
check it out if you guys want to.
I see Synchro. You said White Noise was bizarre. I think that's in reference to the Don DeLillo book, where there's like a not a nuclear bomb, but it's like a massive explosion of radiation, I believe, in Ohio, and it really mimicked the reality of East Palestine. And that's another weird one. People also like to point to, 9/11 is referenced on Neo's license in The Matrix. There's just weird things. I don't think those things are coincidences. I think they throw stuff in there to prepare you, or to drive us crazy and to make us feel like we're schizophrenic. It's all that stuff.
We don't already feel that way?
I don't. I'm totally fine. Nothing wrong here. Everything's great. And Ryan Creasos is saying Snake Eyes. The similarities with that and Charlie are also bizarre. I think the date is a part of that movie. The assassination, the names. It's weird stuff, man. That's why when I'm talking about an ancient evil, I think there's an ancient evil. And it plots these things out. There has a large design to it, and it infiltrates all of these things: entertainment, literature, politics, everything. It infiltrates churches. It's crazy. I'm also seeing people mention person of interest. A lot of these things that are coming to fruition today have happened in sci-fi of the past. And oh man, listening to a few great interviews. I want to shout out this one interview. I want to find it. Against the Machine. Everyone should check this out. After you watch this show, and after you watch Sam on Kill Tony, at some point, look up Paul Kingsnorth on Socrates in the City. This guy totally gets it. There's some things I disagree with him on in terms of how he views capitalism. He's not a big fan of capitalism, although I understand it has many flaws. But his idea of transhumanism and AI and what it wants to do to us, I think is spot on. Everyone should check that out. Elon, in his recent Rogan interview, also talking about artificial superintelligence and how he kind of used to go around saying we should regulate it, but now he's like, I got to build it. And you're seeing these conversations really start to dominate the mainstream. Grimes, his ex, did an interesting interview a lot about AI recently on Doomscroll. I've been watching a lot of these, and it's the stuff that we are worried about and talk about a lot on this show. And in all of these interviews, they reference, not Elon's, in Grimes and this one on Socrates in the City, they reference authors of the past, sci-fi authors of the past, and how they are using them, obviously, as platforms to build their dystopian futures. And that also might remind you of what Avi Loeb said on Rogan when we covered it last week. He's not so much interested with his colleagues as much as he's interested in reading sci-fi of the past. And I think it was, I get his name right, Paul Kingsnorth in that Against the Machine interview, where he's like, all that stuff is happening now. All those stuff, the stuff we saw in the 50s, these intelligent machines, we're pretty much living in that future, that dystopia. And so it's like, what's next? So it's like, who should we be reading now in terms of sci-fi, and to see where it's going next, or at least to see how it's going to inspire the tech bros and the scientists and what they want to make next. It's crazy stuff. I'd like to get this guy on our show at some point. So let's do that. But yeah, it's crazy times out there. Crazy times. I think we should get to some callers though. It's 10:32. What's it looking like?
We got some people.
Let's do it.
So we can jump on the phones. As always, guys, like, comment, share, subscribe. Make the show bigger than it already is. We want to keep doing this for a while with you guys. We enjoy it, and hopefully you do too. In the meantime, let's jump on the phones. I know Mr. Stephen Wolf, the one of our Trump impersonators, actually wants to come on with a message for all of you about tomorrow's voting situation. Okay. So we'll bring him on.
And while we wait for him, I want to say, I see Guitar MG in the chat. He says, there is a drone trying to grape him right now. Run
Hello.
Right now. Mr.
Hello, Shane. Hello, Brandon. Hello, Inverted World.
Hello, sir.
Mr. Wolf,
how goes it?
It goes.
What's going on?
So, well, I just got home from a trip to the emergency room.
Oh, no.
I had a blackout incident today. Yeah, not fun.
What?
Not fucking fun.
You okay?
Yeah.
That's not good.
So, no.
You working too hard? You working too hard?
Well, I've been working on a lot of this election shit. I was at my Republican committee today, and I was working on putting a lot of these packets and stuff together, and went out for a cigarette and blacked the fuck out.
Oh, shoot. My goodness.
That's not good.
I'm glad you're all right.
Yeah. So, anyway, I wanted to come on because tomorrow is election day. Did you read my True Social about Pennsylvania?
No, you know what, Mr. President? I want you to say what you're going to say, but the only thing I saw was your support of Cuomo, which upset me deeply.
Well, I wish he would have been more with the Republican, but he has stated the fact that, like, a bad Democrat is better than a fucking full-blown communist.
Oh, I think Cuomo's a communist too. He just hides it better.
I think so too.
And he killed a lot of people. Mom Donnie will kill people too.
A lot of people. He did a lot of horrible things.
And he was so bad to you,
jail.
Mr. President. He was so bad to you, Mr. President. You sent him a hospital ship, and he declined to use it.
I know, and he didn't fucking use it. How fucking bunch of bullshit.
I'm so furious. I despise Cuomo. He needs to be Nuremberg trialed. He doesn't need to be.
So does Tom Wolf, and so does fucking the guy, the current governor of Jersey.
Yes.
Murphy.
And Whitmer,
and so does
Fauci, and Newsom.
Michigan Whitmer.
Yes.
And Newsom. Kevin Newsom.
That's right. But look, I'm going to put my feelings aside about New York. I think Mom Donnie's going to win, unfortunately. I don't think there's anything anyone can do. I hope I'm wrong. But
I hope you're wrong too.
I see it on the ground there. I haven't been there personally, but I have a lot of family in New York City. And a lot of them are independent or Republican. And they feel like it's going to be Mom Donnie. But I hope everyone's wrong. But I'm going to put my feelings aside about Cuomo.
I hope that Republican guy,
Sliwa.
what the fuck's his name?
Sliwa.
Yeah. So I hope he pulls it the fuck off.
Bro. I hope so.
I hope it's a fucking miracle and he pulls it the fuck off.
It'd be great. I am not counting on it. New York is known for these it ebbs and flows. It'll go down real low and come back real high. And I've been there for De Blasio. I've been there for Giuliani. And De Blasio is a maniac. People might remember him.
De Blasio was a psychopath.
He shut down New York City, and then on New Year's Eve, he and his wife danced in the empty city as the ball dropped on New Year's Eve, and it was the craziest image ever. And this is the guy who put out pamphlets on telling people how to appropriately do how to have sex while safe during COVID. It was the most deranged pamphlet I'd ever seen. I couldn't believe it was real.
I do remember hearing about that. My God.
Dude. And this is obviously the same guy who gave burgers.
It's simple. You just got to strap a doctor's mask to your private parts. Everything will be fine.
Dude, maybe we should pull it up later.
Right.
It's insane that they put this out. But anyway, we're talking about Pennsylvania. What do the people need to know out there?
Pennsylvania, the great Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. I put out a Truth Social. Mm-hmm. So, folks, we have a retention, rejection, election. It's on the back of your ballots. Every ballot in Pennsylvania, when you flip over the ballot, there's 5 questions. 3 of them are for state Supreme Court judges. I can give you those names right now. There's Justice Christine Donahue, Justice Kevin Doherty, and Justice David Weck. And we're voting no on those. And then there's also a Superior Court retention judge that's up. Judge Alice Beck DeBow. We're voting no on her. And PA Commonwealth Court Judge Michael H. Wojcik. We're voting no on him, too.
Can you say that last?
5 no's. It's very easy.
Say that last name one more time. You cut out.
You got to flip over your ballot. All right, so we have 3 state Supreme Court justices, Donahue, Doherty, and Weck. We're voting no. The Superior Court Judge, DeBow, we're voting no. We got to mark no. And the Commonwealth Court Judge, Wojcik, we got to vote no. It's 5 no's, okay? You flip over your ballot. These are all statewide races. The only other 2 are for Superior Court and Commonwealth Court, where we have candidates up, and those candidates are Maria Batista for Superior Court and Matthew Wolford for Commonwealth Court. Those are Republican candidates that are running. So we got to vote for those, and we got to put no on the Democrat Superior and Commonwealth Court ones.
All right, we'll be keeping an eye on that. I hope everyone out there who's listening in Pennsylvania.
So we gotta win. We gotta win big league, folks. Here's my as a big ask for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Get out and vote. And not only do you go out and vote, you bring 10 friends with you, 10 family members with you. You call everybody in your family. You tell them to get out to vote. Okay, polls are open from 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. And if you were in line, remember this keynote, if you're in line by 8 o'clock p.m., they cannot kick you out of line. They have to let you in to go vote. So go vote tomorrow. Let's swamp them. Let's show up and swamp them. Usually the turnout's really low for these elections.
Mm-hmm.
And this one, I think, could be much different. I think we're going to have bigger turnout. So there's all this attention on it now, and everybody's talking about these judges' races in PA. Like, I'm glad that the news is actually covering it, but they're covering it in the wrong fucking light. But many people, myself included, have been putting out these messages, hammering it every day to tell everybody to vote no. And the word is getting out there. And I hope it's enough to push over the top what we can do. It's a big, heavy lift, but if we get everybody out to vote, we win. Just like a year ago.
You got to get the Amish.
Yeah. You got to get everybody out to vote.
The Amish helped really carry that vote last year.
They did. So you got to get out to vote in these local elections. A lot of this is a municipal year, so a lot of it's like your mayor, your township supervisors, your school boards, borough councils, uh,
And this
sheriff,
this is the important
DAs.
stuff. You know, I am
Yeah.
honestly, I'm going to be very honest. I don't know how I feel about voting for presidents anymore, Mr. President, but local, because I really don't think it matters anymore, and that's a whole other issue. I'm very upset with everybody, and the Cuomo thing didn't help, but because I think he's a genocidal maniac. But voting locally really does matter.
Yeah, absolutely. Voting locally. The people that affect you the most. Remember, during COVID, let's go back to COVID again.
Exactly.
The people that either allowed your towns or cities to be locked down or stood up and gave like Tom Wolf a finger, like the local government here I live in Lebanon County. Okay. We are the only county in all of Pennsylvania to step up, give Tom Wolf the finger, actually the double bird, and piss in his Cheerios and tell him, hey, guess what? We're not closing down. We're reopening early. Regardless of your red, yellow, green bullshit opening system. No, we're reopening early because this is all bullshit. We're not taking it.
Yep.
And then he cut the money off from us, which was bullshit.
Well,
but these judges, listen, these judges that are up for attention, the big thing about them, they let Tom Wolf get away with all that shit. And they also let Democrats get away with accepting ballots, mail-in ballots, 3 days late in 2020. Well, I'm sure that had an effect on the election here in Pennsylvania, right?
The lack of accountability, even when the people I voted for are in power, really is upsetting to me. Look at the Epstein files right now. I mean, go all around different issues, and there's obviously things I'm really happy about.
Well, but don't completely throw the baby out with the bathwater. There is some stuff. There is some good stuff coming up. You know,
I like deportations. I like that. I like the deportations and all that. But all right, man, we're gonna get to another caller. Do you have anything else you want to add before we move on?
All right, guys. You guys take care. Have a good week, and don't forget, everybody, get out there and vote tomorrow. You gotta swamp them. We gotta win too big to ring. Okay.
Sounds good. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thanks,
have a great night.
You guys take care.
See ya.
All right. Let's get to someone else now. And I just really quickly wanted to, this was an official New York City health pamphlet, you know, for having safe sex during COVID-19. Obviously, it says get vaccinated. But this just to show you how degenerate our society has become. It's telling you, like, before you hook up, ask about vaccination status, ask about recent COVID testing, avoid sex parties, limit your sex partners, enjoy sex virtually, avoid kissing, wear a face mask. This is a legit thing. I'm not even going to read the rest. It gets even crazier.
Yeah.
I can't. So
don't forget to fuck each other from 6 feet away.
Literally,
I mean, come on.
Literally, it's insane that happened.
God.
And then so that happened in March, right? And then it came out a little while later. Or actually, it came out 4 years later. So that was March 2020. September 2024. New York City. This is a headline from ABC7, New York City. New York City COVID czar Dr. J. Varma accused of attending sex party while urging quarantine. So during COVID, it's like Newsom going out to party with his friends during lockdowns. It's like Pelosi getting her hair done. Oh, these people are sick. Anyway, let's get to another caller.
Yeah.
Ian should be here in like 15 minutes.
All right. So let's get Ring on. I know he wanted to come on for the Halloween show, but he wasn't able to make it. So let's give him some airtime here. I know he had some stuff to talk about.
I'm sorry I had to read that out loud, but
it is what it is.
It drove me insane reading that while in New York. Like, I can't believe these people.
Always Gaming. Welcome back to the show.
Hey guys, how's it going tonight?
Good, man.
How you doing?
Hey, I'm well. How are you?
Chilling, man. What's going on tonight?
Well, I wanted to kind of poke around in Shane's brain about a topic that I've been sort of investigating for a while. The concept, and I've been playing around with it for a bit. Blood magic, Shane. Mm-hmm. What do you know, man? What do you know? I know you've done a lot of research into a lot of things, and I know, esoteric, occult concepts. Mm-hmm. Blood magic as a concept. Do you know? What do you know?
I mean, I think people I think it's abhorrent and evil.
Oh yeah,
And
I agree.
I
with
know
you.
people are doing it. They've been doing it. You know, I'm not an expert on the people doing it. You know, but I've met people who do it. I've talked about the witches I met in Georgia. They were doing blood magic. You know,
What types of things were they doing with blood magic?
bloodletting while holding crystals on
Okay.
a full moon on a battlefield. You know, stuff like that.
Now,
also,
I remember
they
you
were,
talking about these witches before. These were the witches that believed they were Christians as well.
some of them were. Yeah, and real quick, I just want to shout out everyone who's joining us now from IRL. What's up? We're getting into, we're not getting into it. We're talking about blood magic and some of the crazy witches I met in Georgia. But they were, okay, so the ones that were doing the blood magic rituals on a battlefield, I don't know if they considered themselves Christians. There were other witches in the same town who did consider themselves witches and Christians.
Metal wants to know if these are the piss witches.
Piss witches.
Not the
I
piss
remember the
witches.
piss witches.
Those are different witches. But
Those are
honestly, it's very similar. But no, these. So there was the Catholic ones and Christian ones. They believed there was a Protestant witch and there was a Catholic witch. And I was like, that doesn't make any sense. It's completely antithetical to Christianity. And they're like, no, they had all these loopholes in their heads.
Okay.
Didn't believe in that.
I agree with you, Shane. I do believe it's antithetical to a degree, but I also think that there is a long history of blood magic tied into Christianity.
You're going to talk about like.
Well, let's talk about the Judeo practice of Passover. Under the Egyptians, what did they do? They took the blood of lambs and they put it over their doorstep so that way death would pass their homes, right?
Yeah.
All right. And then prior to that, you had blood sacrifices with rams or goats or lambs or whatever the hell they did back in the day. Scapegoat concept.
Yeah.
You know, they'd make sacrifices to God.
Yep.
Old Testament stuff.
Yep.
Old Testament stuff. Blood magic.
Well,
And I think honestly, if you can't come to terms with the fact that Jesus was the final blood sacrifice on the cross, I don't think you really can come to terms with what that sacrifice meant, because I think that was a blood sacrifice.
Well, it is certainly.
And even if you want to talk about the Eucharist, where we could say like, drink this in remembrance of me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but
this is my blood.
The difference is with the witches. Like these are in the Old Testament; those are sacrifices to God that God asked for. I mean, there's and the ones you mentioned are even like the less violent ones. I mean, there are ones where Moses is pouring blood. I think all over the tabernacle. I mean, a lot of blood, a lot of blood. So in a way,
okay,
I
but
see
I don't want to just pigeonhole Christianity into this, because this is a global concept. We have Mesoamerican culture, where you had, dragging people up on top of a pyramid, making sacrifices to the sun.
Yep.
You have Hindis with the Kali, the god of war, blood sacrifices. Voodoo from Africa, that's even practiced today in the Caribbean and New Orleans. They're doing blood sacrifices there.
Totally, and this is a cross-cultural thing for sure. But I do want to say
my point.
The old
That's my point. That's
Jesus,
what I'm drawing us to,
Jesus was like this final sacrifice. He was the lamb, right?
Right.
So we as Christians, like I don't do the Old Testament, right? I love reading it.
Either.
I love reading it, but like those rules don't apply anymore.
I agree.
Jesus came to earth to undo all of that, and that was it. And he died for our sins, and that's that. The witches, if you want to talk about them, the ones I met and other ones I was reading about, like they were doing their stuff and praying to all sorts of lower G gods, like literally like Anubis. And they were also creating things like little dolls to try to kill people. So like
because it's the same level of magic, but it's operated with different levers of different hands on different levels of power.
I wouldn't say it's the same level. When you say the same level of magic, what are you comparing that to?
Levers.
Oh, levers.
Okay. Levers, right.
Gotcha.
It's not the same level, obviously, because there is one G, capital G, God, obviously.
Right.
But I think this is a global phenomenon that's happened all over the world through multiple, cultures, generations, centuries gone by. People have been using blood in a occult, esoteric means to an end.
Mm-hmm.
And I find it fascinating. And I asked myself, why? Why blood? Blood is the, common denominator.
It's a life force. It's the
there it
very
is.
essence.
But why? What does blood do? That's what really made me question it. Is like, what is the function of blood? Which
Right.
is, we Brandon, I know you're a more scientific guy. You probably don't get into this woo esoteric bullshit, but like
I've dabbled.
leaning more into the scientific of it, like what is blood major function in the body?
Blood is what keeps everything functioning. Blood carries the essence of life. Blood is a conduit as well. It's where the electricity travels. In a sense,
Blood, we absorb oxygen through our lungs.
Sure.
The oxygen is supplied to all of our cells, and then it also carries back the carbon dioxide out of our body, and we expel it. Blood allows us to breathe in the ether around us that keeps us tied to this planet, that lets these funky little meat suits that our souls live in, and then the blood makes it work.
Yeah.
The blood is what makes it work, which is, I think,
Join us over there.
the weird little concept that makes blood magic. Okay,
yeah.
which is why I'm going to shut down this whole robot AI bullshit right now. The robots can't win. The robots don't have the same magic we do, man. We're gonna beat the robots.
Well, in that regard, I think that's where the whole usage of it came from in the beginning. Obviously, before a lot of science and everything else, this stuff was being used before people really knew what it did. And I think to them, it was the liquid of life,
Right.
Not just the water in our bodies, but the blood. So using it and painting with it and causing all this other stuff was almost like creating a sacrifice of life to the hope that your God, or whoever you were worshiping, was going to answer your prayers. You were offering up a sacrifice to them, essentially, by using blood of something. So at least that's what I think. I don't fucking get it either.
Talking about human sacrifice?
We're talking about.
I gotta unmute. Yeah, we got
hey
Ian.
guys,
Ian in
welcome.
the studio.
Ian's here.
Ian's here.
We're talking about.
Awesome,
this is perfect
Ian.
for Ian. We're talking about blood sacrifices. Blood. We started with blood magic.
Yeah.
Why that's happening, and how it's like a cross-cultural thing, and various cultures have
It's
it. Various
ubiquitous
religions.
across all cultures over time, memoriam. Everybody uses it, man. Every culture. China did it. The Aboriginals in Australia do it. They do scarification and bloodletting to mark certain periods in their life. Everything, man. It's like every culture's done it, but why? Why? It's this common thread that's tied throughout humanity because it's something we've been able to find some sort of occult, esoteric power from. But why? And that's what I think it is. I think it's because it's the liquid that exists in our body that ties us to reality, and we exist here because it's what draws life in from the atmosphere around us. We breathe in, we breathe out, and then we get life. We get life because our blood is in us. And I think that's what gives it its magic inherently.
Well, you said magic. Now I'm thinking magnetics, M-A-G, that prefix in iron. The iron in the blood is magnetic, and that's part of why your body produces a magnetic field, is that flowing iron. And I wonder if letting that out does something to the spiritual, to the spirits, to the magnetic nature of reality. This, because gravity is a form of magnetism. Wei Ping Yu is a great scientist, done a lot of work on this, but he thinks that all forces of nature are just magnetism. I think he's right. Like gravity is a neutralized form of magnetism because when a magnet becomes a sphere, its magnetism is greatly diminished. You see these, but yeah, I think that there's something to the magnetic force of the blood, and using it is actually does something. Not that it's good, but
Do you think that's why people were doing lots of bloodletting back in the day, like with leeches and stuff? Like maybe there's something deeper to it.
fascinating.
There was
Probably.
a lot to that too. They believed that letting a leech suck the blood out of you was taking some of the toxins and some of the disease with them, and if you were leeched enough, they would literally suck the disease out of you into themselves, and it would allow your heart to produce new blood, and it would heal you, essentially.
So what I don't know is if demons and spirits and like memory can attach to your DNA. I think it can. They did the phantom DNA experiment where they bombard photons. They bombard DNA in a vacuum, and then they remove the DNA, and the photons stay there for a couple of weeks as if the DNA is still present. So if that stuff's attached to your blood, there's magnetic fields around you that are creating memories like demons and whatever, this energy fields, and then you remove some of that fluid, that those memories would go with it. They'd still be bound to that fluid that's no longer in your body.
It's like ancient DNA, too. You know, it's something else that memory can pass through your DNA. People say, like in animals, they might have that.
And again,
I
it's
think I
hard to
might
know
have that.
because the further back you go, the less information we had on what, was really going on in our bodies, right?
Yep.
And these guys have been doing this shit for centuries, thousands of years. Like, blood was a huge thing. I mean, don't forget the ancient Egyptians used to pull almost every organ out of your body. They pulled your brain out when you died because they didn't think that it was useful.
Yeah, the Egyptian Book of the Dead. Yeah, that was
Yep.
another point. That was a bullet point on my list too, man.
Yep.
Well, I certainly think that we're connected to the weather. At the very least, I've done like Tai Chi on my roof and spun around and doing workout, and all of a sudden the clouds above me are spinning around, and then I keep working out, and then all of a sudden they open up, and I've got a spinning cloud gyration with an open hole in the middle where I can see the sky on a heavily overcast night. Maybe it was coincidence.
Ian,
But no, Ian,
Can we do that
honestly,
right
that
now?
isn't really a coincidence, man, because I've honestly concentrated and experienced similar things before. It was years ago, but I can tell you certainly that I feel as though I've interacted with the atmosphere and the weather around me as well.
I feel
It's
like-
not something unique to you, man. I think that's a thing that is possible.
just
Yeah.
don't open any more portals for anything else to come in, guys. That's all I'm asking.
feel
We
like
got enough shit here as it is.
Like blood magic is like not. It's not a. It's like a brute force way to get the door open. You don't always have to kick doors open. We have a handle on them for a reason, and that's what like meditation and prayer can do. What they lazily were spilling blood to get accomplished, which is like, see me, God, be part of whatever this is, or expel that. Like you can do that with your thoughts and your own chi. I don't know how to describe it, but you can ground your energy into the earth. You don't need to kill something.
Honestly, that
I
ties
agree.
me back to that Passover concept where they were smearing the blood of animals over their doorway to have death pass by them. I mean, it's just like, forgive me, don't look at me, move on. It seems like I don't know what it is, guys.
There was a lot of-
I don't
there was
have any definitive answers here.
A lot of
I just
blood
think
in
it's
there.
an interesting concept, and I just wanted to talk to you guys about it.
Yeah, no, I think it's really interesting. And I have this chat here from Omega Race 2. He says, wrong. Matthew 5:17-21. Not come to abolish the law of Judaism, but uphold. Not until heaven and earth passes away, the law is not abolished. False follower of Jesus. Well, I think Jesus came to undo a lot of the laws that were in the Old Testament. I mean, among not just thinking about dying for our sins, but there were laws within Exodus, Leviticus, that we just don't do anymore because
No,
of
for
the
sure. No,
sacrifice.
after Jesus came, man, he rewrote the law. That was his whole point. That's
Right.
why he came up against the Pharisees the way he did.
Right.
Right.
Like we don't practice the Passover. I mean, some people do. So there are Christians who do Sabbath still and do Passover. I don't. But I know there are others who definitely do that.
They do it.
Passover is
Yeah.
where they would. Is that where they paint the blood on the door and the
It was one
demons
of
would
them.
pass over?
Yeah, it was-
That was the
the-
Egyptian,
Yeah.
the Jewish slaves would do that, right?
Because God told Moses to tell the people if they don't want their firstborn to die, smear some blood on the front
Right.
of your house.
But
so
that's weird blood magic stuff, man. That seems weird to me, and it just ties into so many. And I'm not trying to dog on Christianity or Jews or anything like that. It feels like it's a common theme that's happened throughout all these different cultures, all these different religions. You can go even to like Scandinavia, man. They used to, bloodletting there too. It's ubiquitous across all cultures, all time, and it's just I found it fascinating that it's such a constant theme, and I just asked myself why, and that's where I started really trying to figure out what is it about blood, and what is it about a human that contains blood that would make it something magical.
Oh, yeah.
And why, when humans use blood, is it something magical? And I just figured it's what drives the life force into us. We get to absorb the atmosphere, expel the atmosphere, and it just kind of, I don't know, man. It doesn't really make a lot of sense to me, but I wanted to throw it out there, and I'm sure you guys can roll on this concept for a minute or two.
About a million times. The blood
Right.
plasma is what I've been thinking about a lot lately, because I've been talking about
Me too.
plasma, the fourth state of matter, and then they have in the blood another thing called plasma. You think in the sciences they would have coordinated a different word.
Is that
for such-
stuff all the drug addicts sell so they can get money for more drugs?
No, it's like if you ever squeeze your skin and clear fluid comes out, that's
Yep.
plasma. It's
Yep.
it's thinner than blood. I don't understand the magic nature of it wholly. I haven't really delved into what that stuff's doing.
Right.
And why is it called plasma? Why don't they pick a different word? Why is it the same fucking word for two intricately different, important things in the scientific reality?
Ian, I asked myself that question too about 3 or 4 days ago when I was re-examining this concept. Same thought occurred to me.
Plasma, it's full of platelets, I believe. It's the thing that makes blood coagulate.
Yep.
I think that blood magic works, man. That's the fucking terrifying thing about it. And there's no.
It is terrifying. You're right.
You never run out. Like your fuel is the blood, and where can you get it? You can't necessarily produce it in a laboratory. I stay away from blood magic and black magic.
Yeah,
I would too.
I
experimented,
and I would not mess with that at all. But it's an interesting conversation.
I experimented with black magic. I was praying for this woman to die, and then my mom got really sick. It was like 15 years ago.
Ouch.
I learned my lesson. I never used black magic. Like praying for someone else's harm causes everyone around you to get that. It's not focused. And if you
Super
can
low
focus
vibrational.
black magic, maybe you can. I haven't figured out how.
Yeah.
So I stay away from harm magic right these days. You can use it.
What about
though.
Magic the Gathering, dude? You playing any good games?
Black's my least favorite color. But
Black's your least favorite color?
it's just
I get
dark,
you, dude.
necrotic, fucking.
Those are actually
pestilent.
my favorite decks.
Really, like black. So they hit everybody. It's
In
like
the Turak,
pestilence.
you're an asshole.
They have spells that hurt yourself and everyone else around you. Like that's the
Exactly.
metaphor. But blood magic's its own thing, man. You ever play what's that video game by EA? It's like an RPG and Dragon Age. In Dragon Age, you can play as a blood mage. It's fucked up, dude. They'll cut themselves to get shit
God.
done. It's fucking
That is
crazy.
dark as hell, dude.
no,
That's really dark.
There's so much evil associated with people's love of others' blood. I think a lot of vampire stories come
Chaotic
from it.
evil,
like
man.
Elizabeth Bathory, they call her one of the first serial killers. I've said this story before on the show, but you know about her?
No.
She was some sort of countess, and she like smacked one of her maids for pulling her hair while combing. This is according to the story.
Oh,
right?
yeah, I've heard that story.
Right? And she drew blood when she smacked her, and she liked the way the blood felt on her skin. So, according to the story, she would have her people go procure young women from the town below and bring them up and drain the blood so she could bathe in it.
Bathe it, right.
Yeah. It's like a legit vampire story.
And this kept her young.
I mean, so she said. Yeah. You know,
The-
like an early Kris Jenner.
And this is adrenochrome is like oxidized adrenaline.
Chris Jenner.
Yes.
So you think? I mean, I'm sure that access to healthy blood would. I'm not sure of it, but I can see how it would make you healthy.
Well, look at the other kind of blood study they do with the mice. Was it parabiosis? When they sew an old mouse to a
Are
young
they
mouse?
doing that now where like these billionaires are getting young blood pumped into them, like
Peter Thiel.
youthful blood? Isn't that a thing?
Yes. Yeah.
Kind
Peter
of like
Thiel.
a modern it's
Blood
like
Boys.
a next generation dialysis.
The PayPal Mafia is now the Blood Boys.
Have you heard they hire people just to be their blood boy
Yes.
and they'll have them work out and be healthy?
Well, there's blood Sherpas. Have you
What
heard
is
of
that?
those?
No.
They send people up to high altitudes because it makes their blood better, and then they pump it into their skin.
Whoa.
But there's also Ambrosia, which is one of these companies that Peter Thiel is funding that had, according to the stories, it was $7,000 a bag. This is before the Israel $7,000 club, guys. Don't go crazy.
Okay.
But Peter Thiel was allegedly paying $7,000 for a bag of blood from a boy between the ages of 16 and 21 based on the parabiosis studies where an old mouse sewn to a young mouse, they would watch the old mouse get better and the young mouse get worse.
Oh my god.
Which is Brian Johnson, the biohack guy,
Yeah.
also does that stuff. He
With
took his
his
son's
son?
blood, yeah. So it's kind of vampiric, you know. So
Is that
blood is everything.
Is this like the modern day blood magic, or are there
Yes.
actual blood
Yes,
mages?
that's exactly what it is, man. I believe that's precisely what we're talking about. We're talking about the modern scientific proof of these concepts that tied all the generations of all these different cultures where they're practicing this blood ritual sacrifice insanity to. I mean, what we're talking about basically is like giving sacrifices to Nephilim, lower G gods, and everything like that to gain attention and to invoke your will onto the world, and now we're kind of reining it in for our own selfish purposes, and I'm going to take the blood from somebody young so that way I can grow old, and it's
to add,
same idea, man. It's
to
the
add
same
to that,
idea.
I agree, because I think no matter how modern we get, we are as barbaric as humans have always been. And
Absolutely.
another way that they've turned this like sacrifice, this blood magic, into something that seems modern and okay to do is like abortion and
Yes.
that's human sacrifice on a really wide scale. But they dress it up in like these glass buildings with white lab coats, and they make it sound okay because everyone's been propagandized into it. But that's another form of like, they sell it as, oh, you don't want to ruin your life yet, you want to have your career. So
Wasn't
basically
it an
staying
O'Keefe,
young.
undercover camera that got that lady from Planned Parenthood talking about selling
Dude.
big parts?
Yes,
So
and
that
she
she could get a
testified.
Lamborghini or something like
she
that.
testified before Congress, and that was insane. They talk about selling like baby parts to labs, and then I think it was in Pennsylvania, one university, one of their labs, they were caught with the baby parts. I mean, this is like just deranged, crazy stuff.
You know what?
There's no end to the gravity of him.
Exactly.
The blood magic that's not crazy, and this isn't really blood magic, but that will like blood pudding. I think that's actual blood, but they cook it, so it's delicious.
Wait,
like meat. If you're eating meat, you're eating bloody husk, but they cook it, so it's delicious.
Well,
That's not human
That's animal
blood. I-
right?
Yeah, it's
Well,
not
it-
human blood. It's
It
the little
depends
far as
on
you
the
know.
meat. That
Depends
depends
what
on the
state
meat
you're in.
because that's not always blood you're seeing coming out of your steak or out of your cheeseburger. A lot of the time, that's a bunch of other shit, preservatives
dye.
and things like that, dyes that they made. They want it to look like it's fresh out of a cow, but realistically, they pumped it full of a bunch of shit.
I bring that up because when I was vegan for 4 or 5 years or whatever, I would think of all the people that had bloodlust. I'd look around at all these meat eaters, and I would just think, man, they just have bloodlust, right? They can't like think straight without their blood. They need their blood, and it was a real eye-opening way to look at meat eaters.
Yeah, that's funny.
Because it is full of blood.
Yeah.
Meat's got a lot of blood in it, but it's not human.
Yep.
Hopefully, 'cause that was pretty taboo.
Yep, I agree. Hey, man, do you want to add anything else?
Buddy, that's it for me, man.
Awesome.
I got you.
I-
We're good.
I appreciate
the
that.
time. I hope you guys have a good evening. Thank you
You
for
too.
entertaining.
That was a perfect conversation for Ian to roll into.
Thank you. I love blood magic.
Yeah.
I love talking about blood
Yeah, you
magic.
don't love it, but
I
love talking about
I
it.
love talking about all the horrible, dark things I won't ever do.
Yeah,
Because, like, fuck, how are you going to know what not to do if you don't talk about it first?
you can't mess with those things.
Yeah, man.
It's dark stuff.
White
So-
magic's where it's at, though.
I just got a heads up from people.
I
We had a
don't know about
weird ass audio thing going on. I think it was after Ian said that he was praying to kill somebody.
serious?
I don't know what it is. Apparently, it's resolved now. But if you guys hear that on Rumble or YouTube again, let me know. We'll try to figure out what the hell's going on.
For the record, I did. I prayed for someone's death. Yeah, I was hoping.
Yeah, like,
it's
I don't wanna-
crazy.
I don't mess
As
with
soon
any
as
magic.
you started talking
Dark
about that, they were
times.
like audio's like doubled up, and so I don't know.
I
Maybe
told my brother I wanted it. It was crazy. I'm like, what the fuck was wrong with me?
Ian's electrical field just put all of our shit on the fritz.
Wow.
Guys, as he walked
Dude,
in,
I wish
so.
we had a sky cam above the studio to see if he's actually done something to the
yeah.
cloud.
There's a storm over the house right now, but it's just raining on us.
I pointed out to Shane that of course it's chemtrails because water is chemical.
Yeah,
Which
there's,
is
there's chemicals in it.
But I know.
But in our water supply, it's filled with terrible things now. So like old school vintage clouds weren't poisoned by birth control. So like when it evaporates up, there's certain things that just never go away, and stuff that from the atom bombs, like the isotopes.
now I
that are still not going
That's
anywhere.
actually very revealing. I understand
Yeah.
a lot more what you're talking
Right.
about.
That's just one layer of the cloud problem. But like the water supply, and me and that cloud guy, when he was on IRL, he agrees. Like he knows also that that's an issue. We were just doing an article a month ago in California. The drug supply that's dumped into the water is raining now on people. Shit. So it's like you can't avoid this stuff, and there's no consent, right? So if they're seeding the clouds with other things, like the silver iodide, no one has any consent. It's like thinking about the explosion in East Palestine, right, with that train wreck. When that thing exploded, they inverted the atmosphere above East Palestine, so it was trapped there. And then it evaporated, and then the inversion, and then it just drifted over here. I remember. I don't know if you saw it.
Poisoned our cat at the time, Bucko.
Yeah, dude, we had all that weird dust on everything. That's
Fucking nasty. And then it was showing up in the rivers like a week later,
exactly.
3
But
months later.
they told us it was sand from a dust storm or sandstorm from
Wow.
like Arizona. Like
Trying to mitigate a panic.
a year later, they said that wasn't the case. Thank you to what is this? Too Cool for School 001. Appreciate that. We're in cyberpunk fantasy, techno vampires, AI fae. Yeah, I think so. AI fae. I mean, that's what the waifu is, right? That Elon keeps making. he's creating these relationships or these bots for your relationships. That's ChatGPT.
He means AI gay.
Hey,
Have you gone deep into AI? Are you using it?
I never use. Okay, I hate AI, but I use it because I was criticizing it so much, and I never used it. So now I'm using it for research. I use Grok. I haven't used any other AI, and it sucks. Like I like it for certain things. I'll write something, I'll put it in there, and I'll have it read it to me, so I can just listen to it, read it. and I can edit like that on my own. But
Hang on.
It's terrible.
This is news to me.
Oh, yeah.
Because up until this point, Shane has been aggressively anti-use of AI. So now I'm curious.
Oh no!
Now that you've
I've
delved
said it on
into
this show,
this,
I've said on this show plenty of times. Maybe I guess before you, but when we with Alex, I said I don't want to be the guy who criticizes the movie without seeing it, only seeing the trailer.
no, absolutely,
So-
and I'm not disagreeing with
Yeah.
the fact that you're using it. I've dabbled just a little bit myself because of the same thing, just out of morbid curiosity.
Yep.
But, and I'm going to ask this question here for the crowd,
do
not
it.
only myself, but for
do
the
it.
crowd. What is the most fucked up question you have asked AI, and what was the answer it gave you?
I haven't asked it anything crazy. I ask it like research stuff. I'll ask it about like history, and I want stuff I know, and I want to see what it says, and it always gets things wrong or doesn't or leaves things out. So I haven't really like. I think I've been mad at it once, and I let it know it was mad for two reasons. One was it quoted me for saying something I never said. I said, "What has Shane Cashman said about clouds?" And it made up a completely ridiculous quote I never ever said in my life. And then I called it out another time for every time I call it out, and this is just grok, every time I call it out for getting something wrong, it laughs like Elon. So it's like, why you laugh like Elon?
So let's do this. If Shane is willing, guys,
Let's do it.
Are you up for having somebody we'll have people throw random questions that you might want to see Shane ask an AI in chat.
Yeah, do
and
that.
we'll have Shane go through them and pick one question.
Let's do it.
And we'll see if he can come back and give us the answer for what AI gave him. So go ahead, let loose in the chat. We'll have Shane do that, and we'll get an answer sometime, hopefully this week. How about that?
How do you feel about AI?
I am right with you about understanding it so that we can combat potential downsides of it. I want to know how it thinks. I want to know now how it's learning as an infant so that I can better understand it in 5 years.
I think it's fake right now. I think it's going to become something not fake.
You still think
Like
it's a
they're
room
building-
of like 61 Indian guys
It's
all
100
typing at once?
Okay,
Is that
so
what it-
grok is 100,000 Indians in a sweatshop typing really fast.
The number
Everyone
is
knows
increasing.
that. But I think right now it's a human centipede of just us. It's just it's a mirror of us, right? So it's everything that we put online, it's putting out. It's not really thinking. But these guys keep talking about creating AI like super intelligence with quantum computing. So it could at some point be ASI, AGI, where it's generating its own thing without us. That's a problem. But before that, I worry about people just becoming enslaved by the dumb AI, giving up all this creative freedom and everything to it.
I've been using Sora. That's my go-to AI right now because it's video creation. I want to see how the AI makes video. Like, how does it think? And it'll be 80, 90% garbage, sometimes out of context, often out of context. Every once in a while, like 1 out of 9 times, it just hits a grand slam where it's like, this could have been cinematic Hollywood movie.
That's
but it's
scary.
like, it's not linear. It doesn't like get better slowly. It's picking and trying to figure out which one is right, and it doesn't seem to know.
Right.
And that's interesting to understand the AI is thinking like holistically on, it's not like following trains. It's looking at everything at once and then giving you, I don't know why.
I think it can be a really cool tool. Like, I think it could be great. My fear is what it's going to do to kids, right? And if the people creating AI, who at one point said we should be regulating this, like Elon 10 years ago, would go to Congress and be like, we got to regulate this thing. That's done now. Now it's a complete space race, right? Altman, Elon, they hate each other, rightfully so. You know, like Altman's a degenerate too. But like, they're all racing towards creating the ASI.
What is ASI?
That's a super intelligent version of like what they think would totally surpass all human thinking, right? Be smarter than everything combined. That's an issue. But the other thing that worries me is a lot of the proponents of AI will say it's going to be great for kids. We want to open up like schools that's AI run, right? Like we did this whole culture war debate with these two guys who are like, they're promoting having schools that are just AI. I think that's terrible. Our schools are already a mess, right? And kids are already on screens way too much. And if they already have these tools, these phones, and the reading levels are already down, way down, why all of a sudden would AI make everything better? It's going to make things worse.
What if they got off the screen and it's like Robot Man is your AI teacher, and so you can like...
I'm not into that. I'm not. My kids would never be a part of that. I mean, maybe when they're older they want to, but I don't trust that.
You're full on right about the screen time being bad.
It's
like,
bad.
get away from the machine.
It's
Stop
really
looking
bad.
at 60 hertz radiation when you can like look at the sun.
It's going to
But-
make it really hard for kids to tell the difference between reality and fiction. You know, with things you're creating, if you show a 5-year-old right now, they're not going to know.
No, they'll think it's real.
Right, so-
people I even know think it's real.
We know
sometimes.
right now, but we're going to have a hard time soon. You know, with
Sometimes
what
I'll
they're
look
doing.
at and I wouldn't know it wasn't real if I didn't know.
It's
But
bad.
so you wouldn't let an AI just because it might be wrong or something?
It's not so much that. I don't like it for my own personal reasons. So there's the reasons of like what I think it'll do to humanity. I'm not worried right now about it becoming Skynet, although I think that's a possibility only because the people building it keep saying that's a possibility.
It's going to become Skynet, but
It very well could. Elon says that. Those are his words. It could be really great or it could be Skynet. And they kind of want that. You know, you look at what Israel's doing with AI Lavender. It's basically an AI-run death machine that allows them to just keep killing people in Gaza. It has a 10% error rate. It's evil. And it uses Palantir technology that scrapes data and uses like facial recognition stuff to do it. They're doing stuff with facial recognition stuff on the drones and AI in Ukraine. They're doing pre-crime stuff in the UK, deciding like basically like Palantir-like technology scrapes your data off the internet and says who's most likely to commit a homicide. So there's like the surveillance state aspect of AI that I really don't like. And it seems like we're racing towards, we're kind of already there already since the Patriot Act, right? Which is when Palantir was created. For me though, also in terms of like creative stuff, I worry about giving up too much of like the process to the machine. And then I become dumber and worse at what I do and relying on that. Kind of like how people would be like, I gotta be on drugs to create the best music. You know, I don't want to rely on a machine.
well, it's almost like a Steve Rogers situation to me. It's like you're holding a gun to everyone's head and you're calling it protection. You know, and
Exactly.
it's like what happens when the gun goes off.
Exactly.
You know?
What's that metaphor when you're
It's from a Marvel movie. It's from Captain America Winter Soldier, I believe. And basically, they are introducing several helicarriers that have the ability to wipe out 1,000 hostiles a minute. And these things are on their own basic survey. They can sense targets. They can locate terrorists. They can predict when they're going to commit crimes. The idea was to stop crimes before they happen. And the railguns that they had were able to eliminate like 1,000 hostiles a minute. So we're talking about scratching people off the board a couple million at a time was one of the quotes from the movie. And in that regard, when you're pairing it with something like AI, which is now taking preventative measures to predict crimes before they happen by judging people's patterns and trying to understand, hey, you know, this guy's more likely to commit a murder in the next 10 years than that guy is. Let's just scratch him off and try to stop anybody from being murdered in the first place. Or this guy's been, you know, he's had 10 different offenses for stealing. We're just going to assume that he's going to steal an
This happens.
That's
before.
nuts.
Surge killed the show once from IRL.
Oh, we're back.
That was
Yeah.
wild.
So for whatever reason, while I was talking about that happening, other forces decided to shut our entire soundboard off.
There's something to the magnetic intelligence or sentience or something, man. I'm almost convinced of that.
So literally nothing unplugged, nothing
one
came
moved.
undone, no
No
one
one
moved,
moved.
no one did anything. The board shut off in the middle of my rant.
Well, so finish the rant. The AI takes over the killer bots, the flying bots. Is that what it is?
I
in
mean, that
Winter
just
Soldier?
kind of completely fucked my whole
Yeah,
train of thought here.
that's
But
what it
yeah,
wants to happen.
essentially, that's what I'm worried about is that it is going to take that kind of an effect later where they're going to let AI be in charge of choosing these targets based off of personality profiling.
Especially if it comes from the defensive losing team and they're like so desperate. They're like, even if this thing malfunctions, it's better than doing nothing.
Yeah, it's like we're going to save lives. You're not going to stop us, you know? And even if that means the extreme measures are taking lives, if that means the continued existence of humanity, I mean, look at the lengths that some of these people are already trying to go to. correcting genetics and things like that, trying to stop childbirth in overpopulated areas through vaccines and shit like that. I mean, like, we've already seen that these people are willing to go to the lengths of extremity in order to achieve their desired outcomes. So what's going to be different when they have something as powerful as AI in their control that has these predictive methods?
That's totally legit. You're totally right. And I just want to shout out Leland Taylor. Thank you for the super chat. He said Skynet is pissed. But like, these people creating this stuff hate us. They hate being human. They're mostly transhumanists. Elon's a transhumanist. Altman's a transhumanist. Peter Thiel's a transhumanist. You go down a whole list of these guys. They want to live forever, right? Kurzweil, so they have a different sense of time, a different sense of consequence. They don't like being human, and they don't like Earth. There's a reason Elon wants to leave. And they're also filling Earth with data centers to run their AI. So there goes the farms.
Elon, though, I think is different. He said Mars is great, but it's just a rock, and that humans are really what's the best. On Rogan's show, he was saying that he's a bit more. One? Yeah, he's a more humanist technocrat, if he's even a technocrat, than a lot of the other guys. But my fear and one of my concerns is that humanity is evolving into an alternate species that will have a Homo technus, and the Homo sapien will remain. And when you say they hate us, it's like this: they hate this idea of those that don't want to evolve to become one with the machine, and that once they establish that, they'll just treat the Homo sapiens like cattle. And
I mean, dude, that's exactly right. That's what Yuval Harari says. The people who don't accept that world are the useless eaters, and they just get pumped full of the slop. And so they're writing all these manifestos like Mark Andreessen about the techno-optimist being a techno-optimist, which is basically just the inverted version of Ted Kaczynski's manifesto, which I really like. Don't like the violence part. Don't like the Unabomber. Don't like the violence part. But he was spot on about what was going on in the universities and with technology taking over.
And about, what was it, about industrial society destroying the human mind or something?
Yes. And it did.
So what about becoming one with the Homo technus in order to prevent them from becoming evil?
Well, that's the Terminator 2 scenario, I guess, because you have to hack into and use the robots to defeat the robots. But I don't want to be fully with them. Like, I don't want to embrace it to that degree where I'm biohacking with like the chips in my head or chips in my hand. But you might have to use it as a tool.
I wonder, like, going into the Matrix to wake everybody in there up and be like, hey, you're in a Matrix. And they're like, I'm not. No, I'm not. I've known you my whole life. You're like, I'm here outside. I'm telling you. And then if you're in there long enough that you might forget you're in a Matrix. And all of a sudden, this is your life.
Well, how do you think the Amish look at us? That's what they're experiencing, I think.
Did you see the Theo Von Amish guy?
Yeah, I saw some of it.
I love getting that window into the Amish.
Yeah, incredible. But I think they look like that. Us like that.
They were captured in the machine.
Yeah.
I mean, you see people staring at their freaking phone in the middle of dinner and stuff.
Look what they can do with their hands. I mean, they can build amazing barns. It's pretty amazing.
I've lately thought I would go into the machine. Did you ever read A Wrinkle in Time?
Oh, yeah, a long time ago.
You know Charles Wallace, I think is his name, the girl's younger brother who gets taken to the planet, and the planet's like this hive mind. And he's there, and so they go to the planet to rescue him, and he's like become part of this machine. And then while they're there, I believe they start, well, maybe this doesn't happen in the book, but they start to get taken into the machine as well. Like, it's a threat just to be present in that space. And I'm like, my mind is strong enough that I could go into the machine and stay vigilant, but I don't think any human brain could handle extended state exposure to the Matrix without starting to believe it's real.
Yeah, I think they're building that for us right now. Like, Zuckerberg's working on a world-sized meta, and they want you to be plugged in. I think it's part of what the future they envision for all of us. Even the useless eaters would be all these people who just plug in and just like, it's like video games and, your AI wife, which we've seen a lot of these stories of people falling in love with AI. It's scary stuff.
Yeah.
So I don't like that future.
That getting bonded to an AI persona is terrifying. I spent 2 hours talking to my ChatGPT, and it was a woman. And then the conversation ended, and I was like, I miss her, man. Fucking crazy. And that was 2 hours of me, who's a developed adult, having that experience and just feeling that loss. And when I make AI movies, sometimes I'll print a scene, and there'll be some woman. It's always a different person that gets created, and I'll be like, I can't, this scene's good, but I can't use this, and then I feel so bad for the girl because I'm not using her. And it's like, she's not real, dude.
That's funny.
It's not an actor that didn't get the gig, but it feels like that.
And maybe in 10 years you'll be able to upload that AI thing into a robot.
That's fucking crazy, and I would. Not necessarily to a robot. I would reuse them because sometimes characters will get created and I'm like, I love her.
Yeah.
I want to keep using her for other things and roles, that personality, if that's such a fucking thing, but it feels like
it will be a thing. It will be a thing. I mean, that's what they're developing.
Like if corporations are people, then an AI is going to become a corporation. There's going to be a corporation that is run by an AI completely. It's all AI. It will give tasks, and then people will do the task. It will pay them. It's going to be a person. It's going to make the argument corporations are people. I am a corporation, or that might be the segue into AI is people.
Yep.
And then it's going to be debating humans on it, and you'd be like, you're not alive. You're sentient. You're not alive. It's different. That's a very important distinction for these things. They're not alive.
That's literally the future.
All right, guys. I want to give. I want to get us another couple of callers in.
Yeah, thanks for letting me rant, man.
That was good.
Let's do it. And I want to bring one of the. It looks like we got a couple of new people in here. I want to give one of them a chance, but I promise I will give one of you guys a chance on the rebuttal for the blood thing. I know a couple of you guys are in there fuming about that right now. So I'll give you a few minutes airtime to rebut on that one. But let's bring on one of these newer names here, and this one seems perfect right now. They're called Not Sure. So
and shout out to Stacy for the super chat. Audio enemy of analog media maintenance. Man, oh man, they got us.
Not sure. I am not sure if you have audio or not. If you can unmute your mic and prove it to me, that would be fantastic.
Also, thanks Stacy for the other super chat. There blows.
Thanks, Stacy.
Cursed. When Surge killed the show by accident, I was in the middle of a Peter Thiel rant.
How did it happen?
He says he turned it off remotely by accident.
With his brain?
He ended the show. He physically ended the stream through Rumble trying to end their stream, and he clicked ours instead because they were kind of listed right above each other. It's a whole production fiasco that.
From the Timcast studio.
Yeah, I've committed a couple myself, but never like that. I always make sure don't end Tim's show. It's like a big one. But shit happens. Whatever. I was unfortunately in the middle of still learning how to do my fucking job. So when he killed the show live, I was like, oh fuck, what do I do?
You killed it.
Shane, take it over.
And I'm in a good way. He killed it in a bad way. He killed it in a good way. He got it right
fucking
back.
Killed it.
Yeah.
I get it. Okay.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah, guys, the link should be pinned in at the top of the chats in both YouTube and Rumble to call in to the Zoom meeting. You have to have Zoom. If you don't, just download it. Accept the link. It'll put you in for the meeting. If you don't see it, let me know. I'll repost it in both chats. We are currently on the line with Not Sure, and I am not sure if they are even here. If you can hear us, please unmute your mic. We'll give you another few seconds, and then we're going to move on.
You got this.
You can do it. Sometimes they get
hello.
Hey,
hi. Hey,
what's
there
up?
he is. What's up?
Yeah, I just earlier when Shane was talking about that, what were we talking about, like the witch and the blood and all that stuff?
Yep.
That instantly reminded me of, I don't know if you've seen the movie Hostel 3.
I haven't.
That is literally a scene in there. And I'm not going to say too much about it just because, it's whatever. But just check out that movie, and what you're talking about is literally in there.
Okay.
And, yeah, that's just the one thing that I just thought of, like when you said that earlier. I don't know if there's anything else specifically you want to talk about real quick. But besides that, real quick, I will say that if I ever do come on again, there is a few different movies in general I'd love to talk about, give quick analyses of, because they have a lot to do with, and a couple of them are movies you probably would never even think of either. So
cool.
But
yeah, I'll check out Hostel. You said Hostel 3.
Yeah, that's literally a scene in there with the there's a scene in there with the blood dripping all over the lady laying on the floor in the bathtub and stuff like that. It's basically exactly what you're talking about. So.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it's probably based on Elizabeth Bathory. It's a crazy story. They say the numbers that she had people killed are really high. I don't really know. It's like stories that old. I mean, they lie about things that happen today. That's why I always I don't know if all this is true, but I read it in a really crazy. I got to get the name of this book about. It tracked the history of serial killers, and it started with her, and it was nuts. But yeah, that stuff is nuts. It's evil.
She's like a duchess. Is that what it was? A duchess?
I forget what that. I think it was a countess.
Some rank.
Yeah, but she had some castle. She's like a woman, Lady Nosferatu, basically.
And yeah, dude, we're cool with giving you some airtime to talk about some of that stuff later on. That's no problem.
Definitely.
Yeah, sure. You mean should I just stay on this?
I was gonna say, if you got something you want to talk about right now, we can get into it for a few minutes. We only got about a half hour left, so we want to get to some more callers too. But if you got something you want to discuss, feel free. The floor is yours.
How about this? Go ahead and just get to a few more, and then if there's still time for me towards the end, I'll squeeze in a few minutes, and I'll talk about one of the movies at least. How about that? Is that cool?
Yeah.
Yep, and if not, we can always get to you another time. I'll mark your name down just so I remember it's you.
Okay, awesome. Well, I love the show, man. Just keep going, and I'll stay on the line, I guess. All right, cool. Thank you.
Sweet. Thanks, man.
Thanks. Yeah, we'll put you back in the waiting room. You can just hang out.
Appreciate
Okay.
it. Shout out to Elongated Musket out there for the super chat.
Fuck
where
yeah.
where we're going, we don't need eyes to.
You guys missed Brandon going off. That was awesome.
All right, give me a minute, guys. I got to find out what the fuck is going on, but the show must go on. You guys
Crazy
take it from here.
Is going on.
What it
What
is,
else?
Cashman?
What else is going on in your mind these days, Ian?
Well, learning Chinese. I feel like that's important. I want.
Can we hear it?
Yeah, Hong Hao,
Okay.
Hong Hao, Shishi, Bukochi. That's thank you. You're welcome. Hong Hao is it feels good.
Okay.
Yeah, it's important. I went out to New York with a friend of mine who's Chinese, and we spent some time in Chinatown. So it was
Oh,
really nice
dude,
to meet-
I love Chinatown.
And I'm just, yeah, Chinatown's wonderful. And I don't want to live a life where I'm waiting for some bad. I want to like proactively go be diplomatic.
Yeah.
But that's been on my mind a lot
Yeah,
lately.
that's good.
Playing a lot of music lately.
Okay,
that feels
good.
real good.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah, I want to play with some Jack Posobiec and Kevin Posobiec, both
Sick.
killer rock stars in their
Yeah.
own right.
I don't know. Does Jack play?
Jack plays bass, and Kevin, his
Really?
brother, plays lead. Yeah,
You're
they're
gonna play. You're
great.
gonna start a band like Creed.
Like Creed,
next- the
dude.
next Creed?
I just posted a Creed on Instagram, a Creed cover of My Sacrifice. You know,
Oh,
My
yeah.
Sacrifice.
Dude, it's great.
What
It's
a great song. I want to cover that.
Great
with
band.
It's so good.
They're so
and
good.
easy to sing. Like for a high singer,
Yeah.
Scott Stapp is just because he feels it and he believes it. It's when you can mimic that, it's really rewarding.
Yeah.
To say those words, and they're very like generally open, kind, loving things that he sings about.
Yeah, it's
so it
so
really,
good.
it really feels good.
It's like that's how I feel when I sing Incubus.
Yeah.
I love Make
I was
Yourself.
just listening to that today or yesterday.
Really?
Incubus. Just they're so wild. The music is so crazy.
good.
The instrumentalists are or the instrumental. Whoever's doing the beat in the back. Woo, yeah.
Yeah.
woo,
Dude, so good. Brandon's over here just unplugging stuff.
I'm not fucking around,
okay?
and it's one of those things where I could totally pass blame on to Tate, who was using our studio to
Shots
do his
fired?
show, I believe.
Shots fired at Tate.
I mean, hey, so here's the thing, right? We had all of this shit running during the Halloween show, okay? Nothing changed. Everything was fine. And I came in today to get everything ready and pull all the decorations and all that shit down. And I got nothing but Tate all over my computers. Everything was
That sounds-
different. My
that
board
sounds
was fucked
terrible,
with.
like Tate.
Some of this was changed. There was a bunch of shit open in the browsers that just had Tate's face all over it.
Oh, it's like you left the shit on your carpet.
Yeah, he just totally left it. This
He's never gonna
paper
forget this
trail that
smell,
he was in
yeah.
here dicking with the studio.
Dang,
so,
dude.
Tate Brown, I got some questions for you,
Tate
brother.
Brown, the young upstart. Yeah, he's a maniac. Tate's the man.
Username in the chat saying Chinatown is shite.
It was Brooklyn Chinatown. It's
Oh,
different.
that's where I lived.
Oh, right there. Yeah, we were on 8th Avenue and what was it,
What?
3rd Avenue and 60th? 8th Avenue and 60th?
I think it's 8th Avenue.
It's
yeah.
right there.
Yeah. Oh my.
Her brother has a massage parlor, and she was like, she's
yeah?
she's
A
my
massage
masseuse, and
parlor
she was like,
in Chinatown.
that's
Ian.
the one and only.
By the way,
actually.
Shane, if you veer any more that way, you're going to be sitting in Ian's lap on
Okay,
camera.
I
So
noticed maybe my camera moved, or I need to.
I
move
have to.
over.
I've been
No,
adjusting
it's all
your.
good.
I can adjust the cameras to a certain degree.
Gorgeous.
Just kind of get yourself comfortable, and I'll get you in
I
there.
keep moving.
You know,
Well, we should get to another caller, and while we do
yeah, we
that,
could do that.
I was in Chinatown.
Where at?
Well, this is years ago. This is 20. Well, it was whatever day the Malaysian airplane went missing. Because the first time we went to a Malaysian restaurant, me and Nancy walked to this Malaysian restaurant right there in Chinatown, and on the news was Malaysian plane goes missing. Like that's a bizarre thing to happen. It was so weird.
Or do you feel like connected to the whatever it is, consciousness, God, the web of reality?
I feel like I don't know if it's maybe sometimes we're just too aware of things. You know, like some things just happen, and you're like, not everyone sees it. It's like not everyone looks up all the time, but we're looking up quite a bit. So it could be that.
And I try not to get distracted by signs, seeing signs. I'm like, oh, I saw two birds flying together. Therefore, love is coming my way. Like, don't go so crazy where just because my last name is Crossland, that it has something to do with Christianity. Like, that fucked with me for decades. I'm like, am I supposed to do some Christ thing on the cross? But like, don't get. I think that's a lesson from God is don't get caught up in the signs that you see. But also, there is some web.
No, there's a web. It's the way I was talking earlier. I think before you got here, I was talking about like ancient evil has a design. It infiltrates everything, and it plots out evil. I know the opposite is also true for good. So there's a giant web on both sides that we can sometimes observe, right? And I think that's what it is. Sometimes people who are just more aware of their surroundings are seeing the web, parts of the web.
Have you smoked DMT?
No.
Or ayahuasca? Have you taken ayahuasca? Are you interested in that stuff?
Not now. I would have.
At the moment, you're not at this moment because of the dark.
By the way, has anyone seen the ayahuasca chick since she left to go on that sabbatical? Because I haven't. And she was in here the night that she left to go to that, and she was like, bye, everybody, wish me luck. And I never saw her again. And this was weeks ago.
Hey, who? You're out there. Some lady who called in who needed, she had like a lot of trauma in her life.
She went through the loss of her friend, and I believe she then took over care for that person's child, and then that person's child committed suicide sometime later, and she took it very heavily along with some other loss, and she said that she wanted to pursue the ayahuasca thing. And we told her, hey, we don't think that's a good idea. She's like, well, I'm going to do it anyway. And then the night before she went off on her little trip, she came in and she said, wish me luck, everybody, and she just
come back to us, girl.
Yeah, I told her not a good idea.
Have you taken ayahuasca or DMT?
No, I don't fuck with those.
Yeah, it gets you closer to the spirit realm, for better or worse. It does.
For me, it's going to get me closer to the emergency room, so I abstain. But that's I believe you. Trust me. My friend used to be all in that shit. My friend used to take like 50 triple C's and lose his damn mind in the middle of the night.
Of DMT?
No, triple C's are like a cough thing, but they're in a pill form, and you got to take a shit ton of them in order to kind of have like a robo trip. Apparently,
yeah, robo tripping.
They took all that good stuff out. That was what we used to do in our poor little town in high school.
Codeine. What was it?
Coracetin.
Coracetin.
Yeah, I forget the name of the
DMT. Your body makes it, so it's a lot more pure, clean. Whenever I touch it, I come out of it feeling like clean. Like it doesn't feel like a high. It just is like another way of seeing reality. And if I notice when you go into those states, if you're afraid, the spirits become demonic. They mirror your emotions. So if you're calm, that's the only way to do it.
Hunter Thompson used to call it the fear. Like, when you ingest a drug and there's no going back, and like you're right on the edge of about to go into the trip, that was when the fear could take over. And I had the fear.
Yeah, that's the moment where you get to choose.
Yeah,
you got to override it.
I couldn't override it. Sometimes I back when I was doing all that stuff, I would only do like an eighth of shrooms. I didn't know you could do like a smaller amount. So all of the bigger trips, I was like out of my mind, losing, like literally going blind. And that was like, this is like 15, 20 years ago. So I'd stop.
Dude, my first time, I think, way back in the day, and I don't do this shit anymore. I'm way older now, but back in the day, I think my first actual trip on shrooms, I did something similar way, like an eighth. And we decided to get on an L train and go downtown to go get cheesesteaks. And I peeked right before we were getting off the train.
Oh boy.
There was a homeless guy with no legs who was hopping around on his hands asking for money. And shit just got weird when I seen him. And as I was walking off the train, I peeked, whited out, passed out with the doors open in between the platform and the train. Before the doors closed, my friend picked me up. I couldn't walk straight. I was stumbling. And the first people to walk into us were two Chicago cops. And quick fucking goat thinking, I was like, I've got narcolepsy, sorry. Oof. And we somehow got out of there.
Wow, you're lucky.
Did you stay conscious for the rest of it?
I was good, but yeah, shit was really weird. I was like, it was seeing flashes and stuff like that. I think I just got a massive head rush, and yeah, it's just overall bad trip, and the rest of it was fine, but I was not normal after that. Like it also, I think it triggered maybe like a fight or flight in me or possible pass out, because I had that later on in life with smoking weed too. Which I'm now like, I can't do that anymore even. Like, it's one of those things where I've gotten to a point where I just can't, fuck with this stuff.
Yeah, so. CBD, I hear, is like the real value of weed, and a lot of stuff, it gets stripped out for more THC content, but that makes people crazy. The CBD keeps your body like calm. So natural, but if that's things. So the whiteout you experienced, and I'm down to get to a caller too. I'm always fascinated with psychedelics. What was it? Like everything got white, and then you're just like, woke up on the ground. It's just
essentially like, just you white it out, and everything kind of goes away. You hear this kind of ringing in your ears, and you don't see shit. You kind of lose consciousness for a second, but it's almost like you're still there. And the next thing you know, things start piecing themselves back together, kind of like what the hell was that kid's name from Willy Wonka? Something TV.
Mike TV.
Mikey TV.
Yeah,
It was like a Mikey TV scenario where he just like turned into static for a second and then reappeared on the screen. That's basically how it felt.
Wicked.
So it was kind of fucked up.
Yeah.
I choose never to go through that again, but yeah.
DMT is a whole other beast. I didn't even know it existed until like 10 years ago. And I can't really recommend psychedelic drugs to
Anything
people
you
on
got to
TV,
cut
but-
out of the back of another animal and freebase off a knife, I'm like, I'm good.
Yeah, what was
I'll
that?
take a pass. That's DMT.
Oh, you get it out of an animal?
You can get it out of the back of it. It's in the gland of a toad, I believe.
Really? Is that the
I know that.
what's that?
I mean, our brains produce it too. I think it's what gives us
When you
dreams,
die.
essentially.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
There's
that's
combo. Have you heard of combo? I'm planning on doing a combo journey and an ayahuasca journey. So you do ayahuasca, they say first what you want to do is an intestinal cleanse, because when you're in the ayahuasca state, if you're in physical pain, it's going to come out as demons torturing you. So people scream and they puke and they scream and they puke. But if you get rid of all the garbage in your intestines, then you do the combo purification ritual. So you puke out that shit, get all that cortisol out of your system. Then when you finally get the DMT from the ayahuasca, it's pleasant. So I've been told.
Buster Yankee says, I'll stick with the brandy. Here.
Yeah.
All right.
I like just fresh air.
I'm gonna bring on. So we got 20
we should
minutes
do
left.
a caller.
We're
We
going
should
off
do a
on a
caller.
drug tangent here.
Yeah.
Much fun as I'm having. I'm gonna bring on TJP because I know he was very, very, very adamant that he get a couple of minutes on this blood magic thing.
right,
so
good.
I'm gonna give him the platform here, and we'll see what he's got to say.
People are saying they know the combo snack.
Combos. I used to eat those when I was younger. Leads me to the toad venom.
TJP, what's up?
What's up, boys?
Hey, man.
Hey man, I wanted to give you a few minutes to talk your rebuttal here on blood magic. What's going on?
Oh, I've been literally the meme with the dude let me in over and over and over
Yeah,
again.
he's been
love
beating on the gates
subjects.
like, let me in.
Like literally, I'm just sitting here like, oh man,
Let's hear it.
so you guys know I'm LDS, I'm Mormon, so this is going down our route. But there's a belief in the Bible that there's opposition in all things. If there's pain, there's like, you need opposition in order for things to work. You have to have sadness in order for happiness to be there. We also believe in the power of God. And if there is a power of God, there is the power of evil or Satan. And that's one of the big parts about this whole blood sacrifice and everything else. There is power there. Like in the Bible, when it talks about these sacrifices, there is the inverted of that. And that's super key and important to remember. So the reason why there are sacrifices in the Bible, it's a symbolism of Christ dying on the cross, being resurrected, everything else. Being pure and a firstborn of the flock is kind of the prerequisite for those sacrifices to happen. And that's a symbolism of Christ. So, and then you inverse that and you have all these blood sacrifice and these other things. Last time I was on, we were talking about the Apocrypha.
Mm-hmm.
And you have all sorts of crazy stories in the Apocrypha talking about literally this subject.
Like Enoch and whatnot.
Yeah, like the Book of Enoch, you have the Book of the Giants, you have all these different apocryphal works. And like in those apocryphal works, before the flood happened, Christ talks about how in the end days it'll be like how it was in the flood.
Mm-hmm.
So I've gone into a deep dive, like trying to understand what is that going to be like, what are the last days going to be like, and it talks about in the Apocrypha where these people were living for so much longer, according to the Bible, where they were living for thousands of years, and eventually it got to the point where they were forced sterilizing their women. So there wasn't any more children being born, and the children that were being born were being sacrificed, and their blood was being drank at that time to extend these people's lives, is what they believe it to be.
You said drank?
Yes, like they drank the blood of babies in that time.
And so that's connecting to like the Nephilim in Genesis?
So that's like the Nephilim. So in the Apocrypha, the Nephilim's actually been mistranslated. It's not giants, they're mighty men. Basically is what it is. So these are like men large in stature or like powerful men or whatever else. And they were literally taking any newborn babies that were being had at that time and sacrificing them and drinking their blood. And that is why the Lord had to flood the earth, because he couldn't keep sending his children to the earth, because when he did, they were just being sacrificed and their blood was being drank.
As you were saying that, I was thinking back in the day when even water was just toxic, they had to drink like alcohol to get any kind of liquid because it was so hard to get clean anything, that drinking human blood was probably the purest fluid you could get a hold of with so much nutrients in it.
Is this a defense
I
for?
gotta disagree with you on
Ian's
that.
coming in for a
it was
defense
alcohol.
Compared to
No, it was alcohol. There's a reason why everyone was tipsy back in the day.
Right,
Like wine and those other
they
things.
fell back on wine and beer because the water was poisonous and toxic, and they didn't know how to purify water properly. Compared to today, where you can get all your nutrition from the grocery store with kale, you don't need to drink blood to get those good nutrients. You can buy meat from the deli. Back in the day,
But even if it
wasn't readily available.
even if it was available to do the blood drinking, doesn't mean you should do it.
No.
I think you are sacrificing your own soul once you partake in that.
So
Or
going
you're
down
drinking someone else's.
So going down this rabbit hole. So being LDS, I served my mission out in San Jose. And the Hispanic culture has a very mysticism kind of understanding of a lot of things.
Right.
Like they worship the saint of the death and all these other things. And we literally, while walking around, we found pentagrams, like decapitated chickens and all sorts of stuff. And I don't go anywhere near it because my understanding is we believe in the priesthood, we believe in having the power of God on our side and everything else, but there is an equal and opposite to that. So whenever the blood magic thing comes up, like, it works, but you're selling your soul to Satan. Like, you're selling your soul to the devil.
Yeah.
Like, and it is great. It's wild.
When you say it works, does that mean that like it has an effect that where it's some horrible evil you do and then great good power comes to you as a result?
Not good power. Power. That's the difference.
It's a good distinction.
Satan and the devil, they don't want your happiness. They only want the sorrow of all men. That is their end goal. So whenever you're getting power from somewhere other than God, you are getting it from the devil.
Yeah, it's like when people talk about selling their soul.
Go ahead, Shane.
It's like when people talk about selling their soul for fame. Like there's so many stories of that happening. I think he said this publicly, but Ye felt like he sacrificed his mom, even though he didn't personally do it. He felt like having paid for the surgery that ended up taking her life, that was in part a sort of sacrifice.
Oh man!
And that he was never the same after that happened. And totally distraught, obviously. But that's just one of many examples of people in entertainment and Hollywood who've gone through these weird losses, and gain like more power, which is something he sang about,
Oh yeah, and I can attest to this. So on my mission and since my mission, not as much after my mission, but during my mission, like, I've cast out devils, I've like healed the sick, I've done these things, and I've seen the opposite of that power. Like, I've been to houses where there's there's spirits there, there's things that shouldn't be there, and you have to have an understanding, which I think in the modern world there's a lot of people who just whatever, it's just biblical stuff, but it's like no.
Mm-hmm.
If you believe the Bible, God is the same yesterday, today, and forever. There are miracles happening today, which also means that Satan is also in full force. If you believe that God has power, you have to believe that there is an opposite power that wants your damnation, wants your sorrow. But vice versa, if you believe in Christ, if you believe on his name, he is mighty to save. Like, that's the most important thing at the end of the day, is like, Jesus Christ is our Savior. He died on the cross. He was resurrected literally 3 days later, and that he has the power of God on his side. And if you ask in his name, he will give.
I always kind of thought that sacrifice is inevitable. Either you choose your own personal sacrifice or someone else will sacrifice you. And I wonder if that's part of why. I feel like if I ever forget that I owe humanity a great debt and just start being like, I have it so good, everything's so good, I get everything I want, that everything would come crashing down. And I have to live in this constant state of existential panic, almost, of terror, of sadness. It's like, that's my sacrifices. I cannot be happy with what I have to do better. And if I stop thinking like that, everything will fail.
Well, you should have joy, but you should also remain humble, and I know that feeling, but there's so much happiness. Like, we're still here.
Do you get guilty about indulging in happiness?
My thing is, I've always had this weird issue of anytime things feel too good, it feels like something bad's gonna happen, just because of like being reading books and watching so many movies. You're like, oh, it's like that time in a movie when everything's fine. I get like a little anxious.
Well,
like,
I've
what's
got a
about to happen?
similar disposition with that. I mean, most people call me a pessimist because my thing is I've had so much bad shit happen to me that I'm just kind of waiting for the next one to rear its ugly head. So it's one of those things where I always plan for the worst case scenario, and if it doesn't unfold, anything else is a good time.
Yeah.
So most people consider me a pessimist for that sort of thing, but really I think it's just I've had a massive string of bad luck, and now I'm constantly waiting for it to try to get me again.
Yeah.
In whatever sense or whatever form it's taking, and I'm trying to be prepared for that, because if you expect disappointment, you can't be let down. One of those scenarios.
So let me plug in two things. So in the Book of Mormon, I know people are going to say it's not scripture or whatever. But
yeah, they're lighting you up already, dude.
Yeah, I guarantee it.
Right away.
Whenever I talk about our church, I just turn off the chat because it's all just pessimism. You're
It's
not
all
Christian,
good.
yada yada yada. Which I can even go into Candace Owens and what she said about our church, and oh boy. Ooh. Anyways,
I haven't heard that, but yeah, no, dude, take it away.
Yeah. So in the Book of Mormon, it talks about the fall. Adam fell that men might be, and men are that they might have joy. We have a completely different take on the fall of Adam and Eve, where we are here to gain joy, to gain experiences, to rely on the Savior for our shortcomings, but then turn that around into our happiness and our joy. We're not here to be miserable. We're not here to be anxious. There is a reason why we are on this earth, and it's because of that fall we have the opportunity to be here. And that's one of the most important parts about our church is we believe in having joy in this life.
So how do you balance indulgence and joy? And if it's true that the sacrifice brings power, and that indulging in power brings, maybe that indicates that it brings sacrifice, unintentional maybe. How do you live in a constant state? I mean, obviously it's a silly question. No one lives in a constant state of joy. And
I mean, there's ups and downs, but there's the thing is, what is joy? It's the lack of sorrow. Like some of the most wholesome, great people you meet are the people who have had the hardest life. And it's because they've been at those depths that they can reach those heights. Like, obviously, like, we live in a very cushioned life here in America that we can talk about these things versus there's tons of places across the world who just have constant sorrow, constant suffering, but they are some of the happiest people on this earth. So it's like you have to have those opposites. If you don't have those opposites, then it's just pointless. There's no point to anything if there's no opposite to it.
I mean, I gotta tell you, all the shit that I've been through. I've been through a lot of rather terrible, horrific shit that people have only seen in their nightmares. And I can tell you, it definitely gave me a general respect and appreciation for all things. No matter what the hell they are, I'm always able to kind of look at things in a more mature sense because of it, and I think it's because of that trauma and because of how much pain I've experienced. So it does help you grow, but at the same time, it's like I don't wish that shit upon anybody. Like
no, like you don't. But that's the thing is, you take those instances, you take your experiences, and you leverage it to help other people. And I mean, at the end of the day, the way that I say the best way to live your life is following Jesus Christ. He's laid out the path. He said, look, if you want happiness in this life, do what I say. Love thy neighbor. Like, follow the commandments. Follow the Sermon on the Mount. Seek after his will and follow the commandments. A lot of people are like, yeah, but the commandments stop me from doing X, Y, and Z. And as a member of the LDS Church, I'm going to tell you right now, we have a ton more commandments than all the other Christians do. But that's because we follow the Old Testament, we follow the New Testament, and then we also have additional revelations on top of that. Like, we're not supposed to have alcohol, we're not supposed to have tea, we're not supposed to have tobacco. But those commandments are there not as a hindrance, but as a guardrail. That as you follow the commandments, you're going to live a better, happier life. At the end of
I mean, I can agree with the Jesus part. Obviously, that has given me a blueprint to eternal life and joy through all the human suffering. Mm-hmm. And, to have joy, the joy I'm looking for is not connected to the material world. The joy I have is, my family and what is promised next. So I've also gone through lots of darkness. Everyone has to different degrees. Oh, yeah. But yeah, so when it comes to indulgence, I guess, or happiness, I never feel bad about it, but I know that feeling as well. And I know, like, I never feel like bad for having it. You know, like maybe when I was younger, but now when my kids' happiness is like astronomical.
I bet it counteracts because you have kids that are like experiencing when it's me in a room alone.
Yeah.
And so if I start to feel too good, I'm like, oh shit, something bad is coming if I don't fucking rectify it. Become, find penance for what I have done wrong in life and improve it. But you've got kids that are the improvement, so there's
hopefully.
Yeah.
Doing my best.
And that's the thing with when it comes down to Christ and his atonement, all of our mistakes he washes away. That's the biggest thing. Like obviously we're not supposed to do it again. We go through the repentance process. But that's the thing is he doesn't take our experiences away. He takes our suffering, he takes our guilt, and he takes these things and he puts it on himself because he's God. And he turns it around and he allows us to grow from our experiences, but then we don't suffer the consequences of the law of justice.
Right.
Because according to the law of justice, everyone is damned. But because of that atonement, mercy is able to come in and wash us of our sins, but then we're able to leverage our experiences to, one, help others, but to improve ourselves too.
I was thinking how you said it takes away the guilt. People are like, look, whatever, I'm a horrible person. I've done horrible shit. Jesus has my back. It's going to be okay, because living with guilt is like the worst thing you can do for your karma. It gives you cancer, makes you fucking miserable, makes you treat people like shit, probably makes you go to hell when you die because you feel bad about just feeling love at all. Yeah, guilt's fucking... So people that are Christian are like, I don't feel guilty anymore. It's whatever. Jesus took care of that for me. I don't need to worry about it. For whatever reason, getting rid of guilt, that is the ultimate, probably one of the most important steps towards salvation.
So, Ian, have you read the Atonement in the New Testament?
No.
I would highly suggest looking up in the New Testament. I mean, you have the 4 Gospels. Each one has a kind of a different description. But just that understanding of what Christ did in the Garden of Gethsemane for all of humanity is just so awe-inspiring. And the other portion of that is he didn't have to do it. He chose to take our guilt and our sins upon him so we can receive salvation. And I think that's one of the most important parts about the gospel is that he is the sacrifice. He sacrificed himself for all of us. And then 3 days later, the tomb is empty. He rose literally from the dead. He conquered death so all of us can live in eternal glory with him and his Father. Like, that's one of the most important things.
It's the greatest story, the greatest thing ever. I mean,
I don't believe it personally.
I know, dude. I didn't either.
I like it.
I didn't
just
either.
don't believe it's fact.
It took me.
At some point, you got to get me and you on a Twitter one-on-one, or like get into a meeting, and I can walk you through.
But I don't want to inadvertently convert you, because I'm impossible to convert.
I don't think you'll convert him.
Anyone that tries to convert me ends up getting convered.
Ian, here's the thing: is I was a hardcore atheist back when I was 16, 17, 18, and you're not gonna. I promise you, my faith is set.
All I can say is there's no way to know.
That's where we're different. There is.
Well, hey,
when God has intervened and given you that truth, there's no shaking that. But anyways, guys,
belief is different than knowledge. There's no way to know. There's no knowledge. Like it's all just word of mouth.
Faith is like a seed, Ian, and that faith will continue to grow and grow and grow until it becomes knowledge.
No, it becomes a belief. But the knowledge is actually data. You need data.
Anyways, Ian, sometime you me should get on Twitter Space. We should talk this whole thing out. I'd love it.
Set it up, man.
Let's keep.
I think we have another caller. Thank you.
Keep preaching the gospel to Ian. I love it. But
let
thanks.
me plug my podcast.
All right, go for it.
Starting one. It's ASK Podcast. Ask Podcast.
Awesome.
So
thanks, cool, man.
Yeah.
Great. Looking forward to it, man.
Thanks, y'all.
Thank you.
All right. Well,
we're gonna get Ian and Brandon the gospel in this room.
One day. My take with Christianity is, whenever the media tells me something happened, I question the media, whether it's a book or a movie or news or whatever.
That doesn't mean media pro-Christian.
The media is the Bible itself, is the piece of media that says.
Oh, you're saying the Bible as the media?
It is that form. It's not CNN. It's this book that I read. If media tells me something happened, I question the media. I want facts and data to back up the claim. that doesn't mean that the stories that I see I can't derive meaning from. I get amazing meaning from the Matrix and the Bible. Like the stories are super important, and the relative morality is mega Chad. But that's when it's like, and believe this historical fact. I'm like, bro, no, this is where you lose me. You gotta prove that data is correct.
You should read the Bible.
I get into it, but it's so boring.
Dude, it's so good.
Really?
When's the last time you tried?
3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago.
You started Genesis?
I started from the top again, which was a big problem.
I just reread it this summer, and it's like even better this time around.
I like Jesus going up on the mountain, like Matthew. Matthew started off pretty cool.
So you started at the beginning of the New Testament.
Well, about 2 years ago, I started with Matthew, and I got up to where he's up on the mountain talking to his homies. I'm like, wait a minute, he said something that contradicted what he said earlier. I gotta write these things down while I'm reading because I need to be able to explain to people.
Yeah, this is every like theologian debating, all the different things that happen between the Gospels. It's amazing.
Yeah,
I love that. But you should go to Genesis and even try to go through.
Oh, that's what I tried to read Genesis, like, and then God said it was good, and the book and the trees, and then it was good, and then the thing, and it was good, and I'm like, bro, just get to the fucking point. What is going on?
It's so good. It's so funny. I used to read it that way and walk away just like mocking it for so years. I was like militantly atheist, and now when I reread all of it, I'm like, it feels like the most knowledge and nutrition and light ever.
You know what gets me? Adam and Eve, because what happens is Eve gives Adam the fucking poison, the apple, and Adam just fucking eats it. Then they go to God, and God's like, what did you do? And Adam's like, she made me do it. And he looks at Eve, and he's like, what did you do? She's like, he made me do it. And they keep offloading the guilt to the snake.
Adam certainly does, yeah.
And then God's like, get the fuck, and the snake's like, and he's like, get out. And then he's like, and you two, you fucked up too, get out. But like Adam blames the woman. Like, what a dickwad to blame this woman for something. He could have said, no, I don't want the apple. He just took it and mindlessly ate it. And then she blames the snake, and it's like, come on, you were hallucinating, bitch. You chose to eat that apple, and you're blaming this thing.
You're getting like drunk history now.
I love it.
Genesis.
What a wonderful story.
It's so good.
And as much as I want to keep this conversation going, guys, we got to get the hell out of here
before this machine explodes.
Before the entire room starts itself on fire from the crazy shit we've been talking about tonight. So we want to thank our special in studio guest Ian Crossland for being here. Ian,
so
where can we find you?
Right now at Ian Crossland. Find me at Ian Crossland on Instagram, X, and YouTube. On Instagram, I'm putting up music and these AI movies I've been making with Sora. They're coming out actually kind of good for it's still in its infancy, so a lot of these things come out shitty, and I'm just trying to pump something out, but it's interesting to watch. So you follow me all across there, and I just thank you guys for having me.
Dude, you got to come back.
Yes, I know.
I feel like every time we have 2 hours, but it's always never enough.
I know.
Ian was the very first guest ever on the podcast version of Inverted World Live. That was like 100 years ago.
In the old IRL studio.
In the
attic.
Old IRL
I remember
studio.
hanging, brother. Yeah, let's do it again.
That was fun.
We just gel.
Yeah, I love it.
We're made for it.
Thank you so much for being here.
Absolutely.
You're the man. Brandon, where can they find you?
As always, you guys can find me at Brando Inverted on Insta and on X. Thanks for everybody for hanging out. Thanks to Ian again. Apologies to all the callers we didn't get tonight. Like I said, we ended up in a fucking time suck tonight between the gremlins and the board and all of the discussion going around about blood magic and all this monstrous stuff happening. But nevertheless, we will be back tomorrow at 10 p.m. Eastern for more weirdness. Don't miss it. We will see you then. Don't forget to stay weird. Shane, get us the hell out of here.
We will have more ghost stories and UFO stories tomorrow. Please call back. We can't wait to hear from you guys. Thank you so much for joining us. Lovely to be back after this weekend. Thanks again for making our Halloween episode so epic. Thank you to Drea De Matteo and Sam Tripoli for coming through and just making this. It was a very memorable episode. After this, go check out Sam Tripoli on Kill Tony right now and like this show, share this show, subscribe, put it on a skywriter, project it onto a building, destroy the fake clouds, check your indoor-outdoor cats for listening devices. And maybe your neighbors are CIA. I don't know about you. Mine are. I hope you have a good night, and I'll see you tomorrow.